Hello, everyone. Welcome to Podcast FC Show, episode number 6. Talking about EPL Match Day 13, maybe a little Classico. We take a little trip to Italy with the Serie A, and maybe finish off with a little German.
A little bit of everything.
I'm your host, Tiki. With me is...
Tum.
Farid.
And Hussey.
Finally have Farid here. Last week we had me, Tom, Huss, and Al. Farid decided, I don't know, he just took a nap that week. What happened?
Chelsea finally won a game.
Yeah, he was nervous. He was hoping for Mourinho to win one. I bet he wouldn't be here if Chelsea lost this weekend, but we'll get to that. Let's kick off with the biggest game of the weekend, City Pool. City hosting Klopp's men. Klopp's band of merry men.
What a great game.
What a great game, right? How do you feel, Mr. Poole?
It was beautiful. For all you haters out there, it was a great game. It was a fantastic game. Thank you, Mangala. That was perfect. 7 minutes in. It was perfect. Right into the net. I don't care. Coutinho, Firmino, you showed up, Firmino. Thank you. You earned your paycheck that week. Not the other weeks, but this week you did. Skirtle coming up big on defense and having that nice volley. Did you see the volley?
Savage.
Dude.
Oh, my.
Trying to break the net, savage. Dude. Skirtle's coming into his own. We were saying last week that he was vice captain, and then he got dropped from the squad, and then now Miller was vice captain. Milner, not Miller. Milner was vice captain. I don't know. It looks like he's making a shout again to be captain, right?
I'm trying to tell you, he's been their most consistent defender and stepping up in the biggest moments for them and really leading by example.
Well, to be fair, to say he's the most consistent defender really isn't saying much.
What do you mean? You don't think he has been?
No, I'm saying
you don't
that,
think there's much around him?
What I'm saying is that the Liverpool defense has not been consistent at all. So he's...
so he's like the fastest guy, like at the...
yeah, that's what we... Yeah, I didn't want to... I had a few things go through my mind I want to say, and I was like, no, I held back.
But here's the thing, though. He is under a new coach, and this new coach seems to be working up some magic.
You know what I gotta say? Like, look at the minutes he's put in at Liverpool. Look at, like, the amount of, like, experience he has. Like, he puts in... Every year he puts in a good amount of hours, good amount of games, and he's consistent. You know, he's not always great, but he's always very good.
Yeah, he's learned a lot in that trade. Like you said, maybe Liverpool's defense for the last few seasons hasn't been that great, but he's the guy who's consistently in that squad. And
yeah,
I feel it coming together. I feel like he needs just the premier center back next to him.
Yo, look at him. He's big.
That's what I was saying before.
He's big.
Yeah.
He's scary looking. He wins balls in the air.
Dude,
he tackles hard. Like, you know what you're going to get.
You put a Hummels next to him.
Just
a guy
needs a brain.
with class who's going to be clean, and Skirtle's the bulldog.
So we're saying that Sacco essentially has no future at
I don't see it. I really don't.
I think he has a future. I don't see him in a starting 11 if Liverpool has aspirations of winning the French.
Because he is a French international.
If he wants to be in the French national team, he's got to go somewhere else. I don't think he's going to get in.
I think Sacco is tough. He has great potential, great player. Problem is injury prone. If he stays on the field, yes, he'll be good. Problem is he can't get on the field. He gets hurt, he plays. When he plays, fantastic. He's athletic, he's aggressive, but then he hurts that hamstring again. I think it's the hamstring, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
it's always something with that.
Yeah.
And with Skirtle, what I was saying before, the same thing that you said, he's a great number 2. Great number 2. He's above average number 1 defender. He's not great number 1 by himself.
No,
if you put something smart next to him.
There was a point in time where he had that potential where he was actually a good number 1 defender, but I think now he's old. So I definitely, I agree with you on that point. I think having a better number 1 or just a number 1 in general could definitely help them out. But as far as their attacking play, Liverpool has no worries at all.
Dude,
they appear to just be on a new level.
Dude, the first 15 minutes, the way they came out, I thought maybe Klopp, this is another big stage game. He sort of doesn't want to take a beating. They had just taken their first loss the week before or the 2 weeks before the game before. So, I thought he was going to come in a little more conservative. Obviously go out and try to play the game. But, I thought the first 15 minutes were sort of let's feel them out. Let's see how City's feeling today. But it was the exact opposite. And I think not even only City was shocked by that kind of approach. I think Yaya Toure was shocked from that kind of approach because he should have adjusted in those first 15 minutes and sat back and sort of protected Mangala and what's his name, Di Michaelis. But instead, he stuck to the clear tactics that they were instructed, where he was gonna sort of almost be a number 10. So he was lazy a few times on defense. That's why we saw so many 5v4s. All Emre Can had to do was one touch flick off to Firmino, and they were in every time. And I think it was because Yaya Toure was being a little lazy. Like we said on Friday, which Toure is gonna show up, and now it's becoming more and more a problem. Whereas before, maybe we'd have 1 or 2 games where Toure doesn't show up. Now we've only 13 games. There's been 3 or 4 where he's just taking a nap.
For me, you got to look at the lineup Klopp puts out. I think he makes a statement right away when he says, all right, Benteke and Sturridge are both on the bench today. Mm-hmm. You know he's going to come with small players, fast, quick, technical, to attack.
Yep.
And Di Michele's 36 years old? You're going to attack weak, slow outside backs and center backs.
Yeah.
You put 5 players on the field who can all free flow and attack. It makes a big difference. Changes the game. The tempo is totally different.
Yeah.
And I think that was a major point in this game was that Vincent Kompany was not starting. I think some of us may have thought he was starting.
Hell
and
yeah.
we actually quite thought the opposite, that Aguero wouldn't start and that Kompany would. And when in reality, Aguero did start and Kompany didn't. And clearly the back line was affected in the own goal. And like Farid was saying, Di Michele's speed was exposed.
Man.
Di Michele's speed was exposed, and the lack of intelligence that Mangala has at that position. Mangala has the physique, but he doesn't quite. And I'm not saying he'll never get that intelligence, but right now he needs someone like a Kompany to guide him, to tell him where to go. And you saw, they were even saying, the center backs were crisscrossing. That's high school stuff. After high school, if you're playing a flat back 4, you never crisscross your center backs. You pass them on. Yeah. Communication.
It's zone.
And you don't even need language. You can make sounds like hey, 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 and point. Mm-hmm. And Di Michele would pick him up.
You look at each other. You make the eye contact. Let him go.
So it just goes to show that just mentally, one of them was turned off, and then physically, the other one was too slow to keep up.
I think you have to kind of put that into a 50-50 perspective in terms of blame. I think, yes, 50-50. It's on one percentage is on the player, but the other percentage is a good percentage to the tactics of Klopp and putting them under high pressure.
Agreed.
Now, there's a reason why they're making these mistakes, and the reason why they may have been panicking was because of the numerous amount of players who pressed them, didn't give them time on the ball as defenders to make a choice. And on top of that, once they did get the ball in attacking areas, numbers moved forward. It wasn't just 1 or 2 players moving forward. Mainly it was Adam Lallana dancing around the ball.
Yeah.
And Coutinho and others providing forward-thrusting runs into dangerous areas. And honestly, I'm scared. I'm very concerned about this Liverpool team. Because if they can qualify for Champions League this year, coming into the summer, I think they'll be able to purchase any single player they want to coming into the summer transfer market.
Dude, Klopp is proving that he's not a one-hit wonder. We all had questions. Dortmund, he had great success, and he did, build that team with his hands, and Dortmund always had a reputation. I remember them in the 90s, but he came in and made him a formidable squad that ended up beating a Bayern Munich team that was way more expensive. So I always was like, okay, Klopp, he is a successful manager, but when it actually comes to proving it, will he prove it? And he's proving it right now.
I think it's important to show the change in players on his team that he currently has. You look at some players playing to their full potential now.
Absolutely.
Adam Lallana's a dangerous player.
He's a star right now.
He's going to start next game. You look at Martin Skirtle. We're talking about Martin Skirtle getting better.
Yep.
What did he do?
But why?
Start Moreno outside back.
Why are these players playing better, you think?
It's whatever he does. He connects with people really well.
Yeah.
And he manages men, and he just seems like everybody's dad. He's a good guy you want to have around.
I would say more like an older brother, almost like a cool uncle.
Great
he
call.
really just brings it in there, just love. Basically, he'll get into your face so much and say, look, this is what we need you to do. Do it. If you do it, even if we don't succeed, I'll be happy with you. I just really want you to go 100%. If he does the 100%, which they did do, they'll get the victories. It's fantastic. And with Klopp, he's not so much a one-hit wonder because he was also really good with Mans. I believe that's how you say it. And yes, Mans. And then Dortmund, he was really good. And then Liverpool, he was also a player at Mans as well. So he was a defender, I think, where he just had a lot of emotion. And I just love people that will actually wear that on their sleeves, and he won't actually put someone down. He'll tell them how to change and improve with confidence. That's the biggest thing.
And I think the greatest example of that is when we saw him pull Firmino to the sideline, chew him out. He was angry because Firmino kept dropping deep into the opposition half, into their
coming
half.
deep to get the ball.
And he wanted him to stay up the field so they had a release point so they could attack.
And now-
target.
yep.
Yeah,
Pulls him
target.
over, screams at him. Literally 10 seconds later, Firmino listens to Klopp.
Yep.
And here we go. Coutinho, the Brazilian flair connection. Brazilian Coutinho to Firmino, goal. Just like that. So I think
Dude.
that was the greatest example of what Huss was just talking about.
I'm so glad you saw that, man. It was
beautiful.
That's what Klopp does. He's the mad genius on the sideline.
World class.
Well, that was where he was getting mad at someone. The part where you see the love is when Lallana came off and he gave a hug that I've never seen a manager give another player just for a regular game.
Dude, he's been doing that with Lallana all season, and I think it's because
That's what he needs, a hug.
He knew
Lallana needs a hug.
He clearly did his scouting homework. He saw Lallana at Southampton, or probably watched tapes of Lallana at Southampton, then watched him at Liverpool, and was like, what's going on with this player? Because I remember after the first game when Klopp took over, the hug he gave Lallana coming off at not at halftime, coming off as a sub, was unbelievable. It was like a literal dad hug, and I remember texting you guys like, holy shit, like Klopp is like, he loves his players, and his players love him, and now we're seeing it.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about.
The exact opposite of what's going on in Chelsea right now.
We're not at that point, Ryan.
We'll get into that.
Why don't you slow down?
We'll get into that next.
Either way, City was struggling, don't you think? I mean,
Dude, City
couldn't possess the ball.
What is going on? Like
Backline disorganized.
I understand.
The only
that-
shining light
No
was
David
Aguero.
Silva. Hey, no David Silva.
Well, he still had his ankle injury.
Well,
That's a big problem for them.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's a big.
They
That's
lose
the
their-
biggest problem. They don't have the
lose
guy
their
to get to the
creativity.
midfield to the forward.
He's
They don't have that.
literally
They
one
don't
of the
have that
best
person.
attacking midfielders in the world.
Underrated.
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne belongs in your. If you play one high striker and three mids across,
Yeah.
you put Kevin De Bruyne at the left side or the right side.
Yeah,
you
you
know,
don't
as like a
play down
winger
the
but
middle.
kind of midfielder defender.
He needs space.
Yeah,
space
he's
to
not a
work.
central player. I mean, he can play, but he's best used in City's formation with Sterling and him on the wings and Silva in the hole. Like,
Speaking of Sterling.
that's the difference.
What was Sterling?
I feel bad for him. He took a nap that game.
I don't feel bad at all.
I feel bad in the sense of being like an ex-player, but like obviously like I don't feel bad. He's a City player. He's getting paid. I don't feel bad like that. It's just
His choice to leave.
I wish he had a better showing, but yeah, fuck it.
I'll be honest.
didn't.
I think he's getting exposed. He's not a world class player. I don't think. Yo, come on. I don't know. I'm just
No,
saying.
He's not.
very young.
Not yet.
Yeah,
not
he's-
yet. He's not
Right,
yet.
right, not yet.
Oh,
Not
okay,
yet.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
yet.
okay.
He's
He's not.
definitely not
That's why
yet.
he got
World class
exposed.
All right.
potential.
Yes.
But he has very
has
special
world-class speed.
skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
I misheard
technical
you.
ability
You're
is
right.
something
No,
less to be desired. I think.
He's not world class yet.
Yeah, he has the ability,
on
but
his
For
way,
me,
though.
it's not so much his passing ability or shooting ability. It's his vision. It's his decision making. Those
Decisions,
mental
yeah.
traits that really take time
I agree.
for a professional to learn.
I agree. I think he has that, but I think that his lack of technical ability is what keeps him from being a world class player. I think if he had a little bit more of that, he'd be able to just make a lot. Like his crossing ability, I don't think is very good. His dribbling ability, I don't think is very good.
So basically saying he's fast.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I think
he has Jamaican speed.
But
So,
I think his-
what are we saying? What are we saying here? Are you saying circa Aaron Lennon kind of a player here? Because Aaron
Theo
Lennon,
Walcott.
lightning speed. Theo Walcott. Are you
Sean Wright
saying
Phillips.
These English players who we've seen over time
Yeah.
who have been wonder kids, but then kind of fizzle out when they get into their mid
look,
twenties.
think about it. If he goes down, he gets injured. If let's say he gets a broken tib fib, right? Or he does his knee in. You know, he comes back. He doesn't have that sixth gear, seventh gear of speed. You know, he's only got 5 gears now. He's human.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now his technical ability is not that good. Okay. Now what can he do? You know, he becomes less of a threat.
I think he's more technical than you think he is.
I know. I
dude.
think I think his technical
touch
is good.
Unbelievable.
I think it's good, but I don't think it's world class. That's all.
I don't think it's too far from world class. I rarely see him miscontrol a ball. Difficult balls coming 60, 70, 80-yard balls coming from Emre Can, from Henderson, from Milner at the time. Like, I haven't seen him miscontrol many, dude.
Keep your eyes open.
Okay, I'll watch him closer.
Maybe next time.
We'll chalk it up to that.
All right.
I don't know.
From Milner?
What?
Sterling get a ball from Milner?
Yeah, Liverpool, when they were playing together. Oh no! I'm losing my mind. You're right. You're right. Sorry.
No, he's on City now.
Yes,
He's on City now. But
Maybe
either
he
way,
made an interception.
Yeah, there you go.
He intercepted the nice pass.
You're right. You're right.
I was confused right there for a moment.
No.
my thing is either way, he's on City, he's practicing with players like David Silva, Kun Aguero. He's practicing with better quality players, and over the long run, I think that will make him world class. They will bring in world class.
I agree with that. That's a good
he learned
point.
from Torre.
You see Aaron Ramsey's level raised when Mesut Ozil came in, the midfielders. That's a real thing. When these top-notch midfielders, Bastian Schweinsteiger, when he goes to Man United, he's able to calm down all the other players around him.
Yeah.
Because he's
It's a
way
presence.
It's just way better. It's
Well,
world
this
class.
game, he
He's won World
learned
Cup.
from Yaya how
That's
to
why
go to
you
sleep.
buy these guys.
How many
learned how-
trophies has a guy like that won, you know? You bring any guy like that into the locker room, it's like, oh, wow, this guy's
Yeah.
serious, you know?
He's a leader.
Yeah,
Right
for
away.
real.
Anytime you're nervous before a big game, just give it to Bucks.
hey,
and
he's
he'll do
gonna
something.
play.
No
Oh, yeah, right.
worries. Dude, some of his touches this weekend, I know it's a little fast thinking, but some of his touches this weekend
Yeah.
just to get him out of
I would like to see him
trouble.
play more.
Dude, he's-
I would like to see him start more.
he has to. We'll get into that, but he has to.
Yeah, that's good.
Want to round up this game? So, man of the match? Tom?
Man of the match is Jurgen Klopp. Yeah, let's be real. Let's be real.
Okay.
Man of the match is Jurgen Klopp. He won the
Yeah.
game. He started a formation that nobody expected. They didn't know how to defend it. He totally took him off guard. Guy won the game, dude. He won the game before the game started.
So does that mean the man of the match should be John Henry because he hired Klopp?
I'm fine with that.
No, but play on the field.
Technicality.
I get what you're saying. You're right. I mean, that game was won before the whistle to kick off the game went off.
That was Farid's take. Not so much my take.
Right.
But coming into the game, I thought Liverpool was playing the better football. Had a feeling they'd win this game. And the young Brazilian Coutinho stepped up, I thought, against the Fernando brothers, who we thought might out-physical him, might, try to take him off his game by stepping on him and fouling him. I thought he really stepped up, had a goal and an assist. Excellent player. Unfortunately, he got injured at the end of the game, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Hopefully it's not too serious.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too serious, but Coutinho for me.
For me, I had a hard time, man, choosing between Coutinho and Lallana. Like, some of the movements Lallana was making, there was a dummy that Coutinho had the ball on the left side of the field, went to play an early through ball, looked like he was playing it for Lallana. Lallana did a little step over dummy, went through to Firmino, and Firmino blew the finish, but just that little like vision and confidence that Lallana's playing with, I think for me, he was man of the match. He didn't necessarily put up the stats or anything like that, but just his presence,
So
him running,
smooth.
his work rate, like he was just that quiet guy in the engine room, just pouring coal on that fucking
That's why
fire.
he was captain of Southampton, man.
He's coming together, man. I'm seeing why Liverpool got him in the first place.
It's a good- it's a
Rogers
good-
must be smashing his head against the wall right now
Totally
because he's
agree.
the one that brought him in.
He
He's
saw
one
the
that
talent. Rogers knows how good he is.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Huss?
Man of match of this is that's tough. You had the two Brazilians working with each other, which is really good. Coutinho, I myself actually thought he was going to be really good this game. He's at the point where I don't know who can stop him. He's being at least in England right now. He's
getting
being
there.
that good.
Yeah.
Firmino, he really showed up. But honestly, with Man City, people have scored goals before them against them. How many times has a team really just kept them to one goal? That's the big thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Skrtel here, shutting down Aguero, shutting down the entire that offense. One goal against a defense that really isn't that good. Someone
And
had to
Lovren came in for Sacco. This is Lovren's first game in a long time.
exactly. Someone had to organize them, and with a goal. So I have to kind of go with Skrtel.
Oh, it's a great shout, man.
Good job, us.
Great shout. All right,
Defensive minded.
that's City pool. Next game we'll get into Chelsea Norwich. A bit of a snoozer. It was a typical Chelsea game for me. Like, got the goal and then
3
they didn't
points.
quite. They
The
didn't quite
1-0
pack it in.
Mourinho win.
It's a
Yeah.
3-point game.
It wasn't as park the bus as he's been before. Like Chelsea still try to play, but it was sort of like again like we're not going to take risk unless we had to, and you can chalk that up to intelligence. You're up 1-0. Why take risk if you don't need to? But it was. I'm still worried about Chelsea. Put it that way.
They did take fewer more risks, and I think we see Mourinho now finally giving in a little bit, allowing his attacking players to be a little bit more creative and kind of just play their game, but with the responsibility of dropping back. But what did you think, Farid?
There's one stat for me that really stands out about everything else, and that's the form of Eden Hazard. In this game, his form was an 8. Okay?
Yeah.
When
that's fair.
when his performance is an 8 or better, Chelsea wins the game. You know?
Yeah.
Or they at least score 1 goal, you know? His performance is vital to the team's success attacking.
Yeah.
Willian is playing out of his mind this season, has 4 free kicks already.
So nasty.
Scoring so many goals,
So
being
Willian's
so
been
dangerous.
carrying Chelsea this year.
And, you know, Costa had the band in the middle, which kind of threw him off his form. And then you got the other side. And he puts Pedro out there. He puts Oscar out there. He puts Kennedy out there. He puts all these guys out there. Nobody can play the position. Nobody can play it as well as Hazard can play it. When his form is 8 or better, I mean, we're talking, he's a world-class player.
Yeah.
If he doesn't show up to the game, the team suffers.
Yeah.
Team suffers.
The question is, how do you get him to show up to every game? Why is he not showing up? Why is he? Is it just his mentality? He's young. He's still learning to be consistent,
23.
or is he frustrated by the environment at Chelsea? Is he dreaming of being on a
Is
Barcelona
it England?
beach?
Is he drinking? Is he smoking?
Exactly.
Is he
Like, is he
fucking
doing all the right
models? Like,
things?
Exactly.
Is he bored of
Which is
London?
healthy for you, by the way.
It's very healthy.
It's tough. It's tough to say what it is.
Because-
but I look at it this way, you know, he's not Messi, Ronaldo level. He's not that level. So
No,
you are not allowed to act that way. You shouldn't act that way. You should be still working to try and get better. And I think that he sometimes thinks he's better than he is.
That's the mental aspect,
Yeah.
which I think is
he's a little thinks he's
That's the-
thinks
that's
he's
the
too good.
most
That's
important
the-
part about being a professional.
That's the difference between Quaresma and Ronaldo when they were young. Obviously, we realized Ronaldo was special, but at the time when they were coming up, they both played the same way, and just one of them, when you look back, has a higher work rate than the other.
People forget Quaresma was on Barcelona.
Quaresma was. He absolutely was, and he was thought to be better than Ronaldo.
Didn't happen.
Didn't happen because you look at Ronaldo. I've watched a Ronaldo documentary, and for anyone who hasn't watched it, please, I beg you, watch this Ronaldo documentary. It'll give you a different insight on who he is and just exactly how hard he works to be the best in the world. It comes off as a pretty boy in the media, a guy who's not a team player, but you watch this documentary and you hear some of the things Sir Alex Ferguson says about him, like, this guy is not exactly who we think he is.
For me, Hazard. Listen, I'm a Hazard fan. Like he's one of my favorite players on the team. I love the guy. His ability to play that wing position and be deceptive and creative and really just open up and be a threat consistently. It's so fun to watch. But when he's not there, he's not worth it. And he needs to prove that he can be there all the time, not just when he feels like it or once in a while.
But I think some of the other midfield players are very vital to Chelsea's success as well. You see, Nemanja Matic had a way better performance than he's been playing like the whole season, and just some of those, the back line also as well. They were able to pull off a clean sheet this weekend. Well, in past weekends has been difficult even trying to do that. I don't know if that's tactics because they wanted to go forward more, so they had less pressure on them, or I don't know if the team's slowly starting to come together now. Good news for Chelsea fans is now they have that win, so now they kind of have that monkey off their back, but there's still a lot of pressure.
I think Terry played one of the better games he's played this year. You know, and that's vital to the team. Hazard playing well, and then Terry playing well. Because then you got the front line locked, and you got the back line locked. In the middle, you can always figure it out with Matic, Fabregas. Those guys have enough class to sort of put it together. But you need a spearhead up top. Like you said, Hazard has to show up. And Terry, for now, until you can get a Cahill showing up on that type of prowess, you know, you need Terry to show up and sort of hold the team up. Good news is Courtois back in training. It looks like he'll be back very soon.
Not that Begovic has been bad.
No, not at all. Begovic, again, like I think Begovic has been an unsung hero because Chelsea has been losing. But I think things would be worse if they didn't have a guy like Begovic in the net.
Yeah, if we had Czech, it'd be better.
It definitely would be. It definitely would be. And that's pie in Mourinho's face. You got Drogba leading the scoring in the MLS, or at least kicking ass in the MLS.
Score free kicks at will.
If he had him, you know, then you don't have to worry so much about.
You don't need Remy or Falcao if you
Remy.
have him. I know.
Exactly.
Maybe if you have Lukaku and Kevin De Bruyne, who you didn't sell a couple of years ago.
You sold them too early. You bring those guys in, they can hold you up for a while.
Made some money on that deal, didn't we?
I don't think
Lost some
Bromwich
points on
is
that
too
deal.
So
well played.
In this game, Hazard, you say you gave him an 8. He still only had one shot. One shot. He needs to get more shots. It wasn't even on net. He needs to shoot. He needs to get open. I know he got fouls against him, but he has to keep shooting. He has to help those goals. The thing that we brought on Friday, Fabregas. He started, played the whole game, got an assist. 3 shots, 2 on goal. They didn't go in, but at least he's shooting, and he got the assist to Costa. I think he stepped it up this week, and that's the focal point. If they have someone actually making plays, I know you're saying Willian is the best player on the team this year, but they need
offensively.
Yes, offensively.
Yeah.
Fabregas will bring a new dimension if he goes and plays the way he does. We all have seen it. We all know how he plays. He plays differently from Willian to the point where he can make magic happen.
Well,
it was right off that.
The different positions. Willian has been brought more into the center because Chelsea's been struggling in the middle with Oscar also being hurt. So, like, they've sort of had to force Willian to play a little more central. But I think when the team's firing on all cylinders, you want Willian out wide making his moves, and you want what's his name in the middle. You want him in the middle, Cesc in the middle, dishing it out. So that's, for me, I think you're right. Fabregas does need to come healthy, but I think Willian so far has been an okay patch.
Oh no, I understand what you're saying. That's what I was getting to on the last time we talked was for the fact that I really like Willian on the outside with that speed. Even if you have Pedro on the outside, I like Willian on the outside. I don't know what it is, but
I think that's his most natural position with his speed.
1-on-1. Oh, who can? I mean, come on.
Vicious Elastico's. Yeah.
The triple one he does. You see that one?
I haven't seen.
He does a Matthews with an Elastico.
Oh no.
He goes inside, outside, inside.
He doesn't even need that. Just how fast is he? 1-on-1 with most defenders, he can just literally run by them.
And shot power, he can shoot from way out.
Exactly.
And I think the thing Huss is really saying about Fabregas is now the different type of midfielders. Sometimes they're not the strongest, the fastest, the most athletic, but they're special kind of midfielders who slow the game down for your team.
What you guys were talking about Schweinsteiger earlier for United.
Who bring that, and a little blasphemous to say because his career still has some time left in it, but like that Xavi-esque, Iniesta-esque, Schweinsteiger sort of composure to your midfield. And when Fabregas is hitting all cylinders, I hate to admit this as an Arsenal fan, but he's one of those players who can really slow the game down, possess it for you, keep other players calm, and attack and defend as well.
He could speed it up. He sets the tempo.
Exactly.
Yeah. He controls how fast or how slow, or if you're high pressure, low pressure. He's commander.
Yeah, he's a stud, man. And
there's a reason he's captain of Arsenal at that young of an age, man.
Yeah, and you sort of understand why Wenger didn't want him back, but I feel like maybe Wenger had swallowed his pride a little bit, brought him back. It probably wouldn't have been, a popular move amongst Arsenal fans, but look at the squad now. We'll get into the game, but, to have Fabregas on the pitch with
multiple times you could have swallowed his pride with Song as well. Alexander
could have taken Song back.
I think Wenger takes it very personally, and he gets hurt emotionally when players leave him. And he looks at it as like, they think that they can go somewhere else and win it at another coach. Well, no, they can only win it at me.
Yeah.
And I do get it. Like, I coach as well, and when players leave, it hurts.
Yeah.
It can, but it's just part of the game.
Yeah, you're right. So, man of the match for this game. I'll kick it off, I guess. For me, it was Matic. Matic has had arguably a rough season compared to who he is. But I think yesterday he showed his potential. He showed his form from last season when Chelsea were firing. He's making tackles. He's dribbling at defenders. He had a bit of a mini breakaway where he broke in behind the back four, just dribbled his way in casually. Obviously, he's got to work on his finishing. That finishing was horrendous. It should have been low across the keeper. He decides to shoot it high and near post.
He's so lanky.
He's so lanky, couldn't control his legs. But, yeah, for me, Matic, man of the match. Great tackles everywhere, good in possession. He killed it.
Mine was Eden Hazard, special player. I think he should shoot more too, man. I really do. I haven't really seen his range. I don't know if he can ping from about 30 to 40 meters out, but I think in Coutinho's game we're seeing that a little bit more. I'd like to see that in Hazard's game, but he had a great game in general, and like Farid was saying, if he's hitting on all cylinders, he's a world-class player. Farid
here, my player of the game's got to be Hazard as well. When it's tough to explain, but when one player in your team plays particularly well, and you see them break into defenses' backs time after time, it breeds a confidence within the squad. And maybe you play better defense that day. Maybe your midfield connects more passes. It really sets the tone. So for me, it's got to be Hazard.
For me, it has to be, like I was talking about before, Fabregas. I like Fabregas the way he just moved. I disagree with the Magic for the fact that near the end of the game, he made some really suspect passes. Like, he was not composed by the end of the game, I don't think. He made probably 3 or 4 passes that I did not like. A couple of them got picked off. Throughout the beginning, he was decent, but I think Fabregas.
Cool. All right, so we'll move on to the next one. Watford, Man United. Bit of a quiet game. Very happy the glory boys, Man United, the Devils. Memphis taking care of business. 11th minute scores a goal, but then after that, I don't know, Memphis.
Bro, I mean, my man was starting as a center forward. Mm-hmm. Great goal if you saw it. Finished with his left foot, first time.
From who? Who'd that ball come from? You tell me.
I don't want to say.
I
don't want to say.
Herrera with the assist.
My bro's favorite player.
I got his jersey on right now.
Who just might be a fraud.
I'm buying it early.
He just might be a fraud in disguise.
I agree with Tiki.
Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high.
I like Herrera a lot. He's one of those guys that you trust with the ball that might have a high 80s passing completion. He's just a guy that when he has the ball at his foot, he can either dribble it or pass it. He has full control of the ball.
He can't shoot it.
But he can't pick it up with his hands?
What I'm saying is full control of not just the ball, but the game when the ball's at his foot.
Yeah, no,
if that makes sense to you guys.
I think he's not getting enough consistent starting time in the team.
No.
And I think you're sort of starting to see the effects. I saw him before he got hurt in the 25th minute during that game. He did give away 1 or 2 balls. There were times where he didn't give good angles. His movement was a little off. And I don't know, maybe he was carrying an injury and tried to play through it because it looked like a muscle injury. It wasn't like a contact injury. So maybe he just was trying to play through the pain and you could see that he was struggling. Or maybe he was just off because he's not getting 90 minutes day in, day out. So
I don't think he will because of how the Man United midfield is set up. You have Morgan Schneiderlin, who's more the defensive midfielder. I don't think you're going to start anyone over him. And then you have a World Cup winner in Bastian Schweinsteiger, when healthy, when not fatigued, is your number 1 option.
That's my favorite midfield pairing, by the way.
Yeah.
Just a quick side note. Like those two, like Bastian and Schneiderlin in the midfield for United currently, I think.
What about Michael Carrick?
No. Carrick, I feel like... Carrick, I don't think he can play at this pace. You know, I think he's 34 years old.
He's done?
Like, not quite done. I think
at
he can
Man
still...
United.
No, I think he can still stay at United, but I don't think he can start a lot of games.
So he's an
anymore.
off-the-bench player now for you?
Yeah, or once every 2 or 3 games you bring him in to start.
Someone's injured, someone needs a day off.
Yeah, it's just,
FA Cup.
Yeah, he's fading away, slowly fading away, that type of thing. Carrick is still useful, but yeah, I don't think he's starting the games inside day in and day out. So, sorry, just interrupted your thought, but that 2 pairing I think works.
Yeah, so unless Ander is playing in a more advanced role, which is likely where Mata's playing, it's kind of odd. It leaves it up to the coach now to rotate. And before we're kind of talking about how Mourinho doesn't tend to rotate his players. You know, coaches are very specific. Some coaches just like their starting 11. And, if you're a sub, you're a sub. Whereas other coaches invest in the full squad and anticipate rotating players in, especially youth players, which we've seen from Man United with the likes of Lindegaard, who had a great opportunity, could have chipped it over the goalie, but isn't quite clinical yet. I guess we can't qualify him as a clinical finisher.
For me, I see it's an ever-changing squad at United.
Yeah.
And you never know who's in the starting 11. I think it's different almost every game, every other game.
It's fluid.
Not only that, but it breeds competition.
Yeah.
And I think that makes extremely competitive practices between first squad, second squad. bench players, reserves.
Youth.
Even, I mean, you look at the youth. He brings up Tyler Blackett last year, 19 years old.
McNair started.
Yeah, now he's got 4 or 5 young, good players loaned out, Championship Division 1 level.
Yeah.
He's trying. So he's mixing youth. He's mixing Bastian Schweinsteiger, some age, some people who've been there, won championships, and he's mixing in up and coming players. He's got a good thing going on with his chemistry there.
Yeah.
And if the bottom line, you look at the matchup of Watford, a team that's been promoted. New into the Prem, they're taking on the Giants, the Uniteds.
Yeah.
This is the game that everybody in that team gets up for.
Yeah.
They all want to get up. They all want to get 3 points. So I think it should. You know what? United got 3 points. Got in there. It wasn't pretty at some times, but got it done. And that's how you win a championship.
And I think United deserved to win the game. I think looking at the way United played, they were always in control. Not always like clinical and not always that sharp spear and that threat, but they were always going to win that game. And again, it breeds the question of this whole playing that possession soccer type of system where everything is slow and like controlled. It's like once the other team scores, like you have to up the tempo. And has he trained them enough in upping the tempo to do that? I feel like we got lucky to score that second goal to win the game, but at the same time, we were in control of the game, so we always knew there was going to be another chance.
Hey, they played hard to the end. You play hard to the end, there's always a chance you get 3 points. Look at Leicester City.
Yep, getting it done.
I was so go ahead, Huss.
No, I was just going to bring up Deeney.
Yeah, bro. I was about to say, again. I was so excited when Watford got the PK.
Hero and the villain.
Rojo concedes the penalty kick, and you know what? I thought that was a great call by the referee. A lot of the times we see those challenges where whether it's a Diego Costa or a strong forward who's holding up the ball and the defenders all over him, kind of pulling them back. And a lot of the times those aren't given; they're seen as attacking players diving. But I thought that was the right call. And like we're saying, Deeney, man, you stepped up.
Deeney.
He had his ex-cons there.
Problem is, though, he slid into the goal with the ball to lose the game. See, I'm a huge... I hate...
It was a captain's effort, man.
Well, the thing is, I don't like when people slide. Because you can... No, because... No.
You bicycle the guy playing indoor.
No.
What do you say to Marseille Desailly?
Can I finish?
No.
No, I don't mean in general. I like sliding in general, but I'm saying at that moment, he didn't have to slide. Hit it away with your foot.
No,
it was such a captain's effort.
It's momentum. Like, yes, you can look back and be like, okay, he should have planted and then hit it back with his foot. But like, he's literally seeing like dying seconds of the game. He's making a gallant effort to stop the ball, and like it came in off him, but it wasn't really his fault.
Are you mad because he tried too hard?
Yeah,
you can try. You can try hard.
It's one of those shitty own goals where it comes off your foot and it goes in. It's not like he swung his foot and he missed it. Like he just slid.
If your point is it was his fault that the ball went in,
no, I'm not.
You're right, because watching the replay, if he had just left it, Aurelio Gomez and the other defender were right there.
Yeah, probably with communication.
I'm not so much saying that. I'm just saying once you leave your feet and you're sliding, you're out of the play. What happens if it's like a fake and he slides and he just chips it over him or something?
Yeah, but how many off the line efforts have you seen where a player slides and kicks it away? Like it's the normal thing to do, like to slide into your net and try to throw a body on it or something. If Bastian Schweinsteiger actually shot that ball and it was going in, I think Deeney has a better angle at sliding and hitting it away. But the only problem is that Bastian hit it square, which Bastian wasn't trying to hit it square. He was trying to shoot. So that was I feel like it was the right decision. It was a shitty outcome, though.
No, I know where you guys are coming from. I
think United earned it, man. I think they played good they played hard all game. They tried hard. You could see how everybody was, giving full effort. And they got it done.
It's random youth stepping up, which I hate, but I can respect.
As an Arsenal fan?
As an Arsenal fan, I hate, but I can totally respect it because it's different guys popping up every week.
Yeah.
Once you have that and a solid defense,
yeah,
we're talking about a title, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about a title.
It's the back four. You've got to get that back four organized. Then I think Chris Smalling this year has been mammoth.
Yes.
In that category, and I hate to admit that, but he really has been a difference maker, and you can see why he's getting runs with the England national team now.
Yeah. Dude, I think fucking Jones, dude. If he can just please stay healthy for more than 5 games at a time.
He gets hurt because he tries too hard and he gets like kicked in the nose or something, dude. He's got the worst luck. But
it's awful. But that pairing, him and Smalling, yes, it's not quite Ferdinand and Vidic, but it's pretty fucking close.
Could be better.
It could be. It could be better.
Relax.
No, I'm saying no.
Look at the athleticism on Smalling.
Potential, dude.
Oh, yeah.
No, still no.
Are you kidding
No.
me? Potential.
Ferdinand and Vidic.
Yes.
Ferdinand,
so.
who was the most expensive defender of his generation,
Oh, David Luiz came along and quashed that.
Yeah.
and Nemanja
I mean-
Vidic, a man who will
No,
go
Nemanja was-
into like he'll play with like a tooth. I mean, with a knife in his sock or some shit.
Have you seen
dude. Like,
Smalling
he's
play?
savage.
Smalling seems like a Vidic kind of guy.
No,
He
I
doesn't
think
have that class of Ferdinand.
He's a hybrid, dude. He's a hybrid because
He
he's a
is a
freak
hybrid.
athlete.
Yes.
He's a freak athlete, but
Yeah,
he's
he plays
also
like-
kind of got some Vidic-esque. And if he could become, I mean, he's not there.
No, he's
But
not there.
he has
He's
a
threatening, dude.
Smalling, I agree with. I think he has the potential to be world class, but his partner Phil Jones.
You don't like
Oh,
Jonesy?
No.
to
Phil
be
Jones,
comparable with Ferdinand
no.
and Vidic
I think Jones
as
could
a
be-
pair,
No.
no, I don't agree.
No, I meant like just
As
Smalling
good
on
as.
his own. Smalling on his own has the
Oh.
potential to be either one of those players. Then you bring in like a classy, like a Hummels to help him out to sort of put.
Yeah,
like
'cause you
Ferdinand.
need
You know
that
what
one-
Ferdinand
you need
did?
that other guy.
Ferdinand put his arm around Vidic, so Vidic had more of a freedom to like not make mistakes, but like sort of play a little more dangerously, like a
Safety
stopper.
blanket.
Yeah, because Ferdinand was like, all right, I'll be the brains of this operation. You be the muscle. And that's how the partnership works. Sol Campbell and Tony Adams. Tony Adams the brain, Sol Campbell's the hammer.
The thing is, Smalling has good feet.
Sol Campbell.
He has good feet. He played right back for a lot of last year, which people kind of forget about, but he has the ability to build up the attack
Yeah.
from defense coming out of the back.
So that's why in this current time, Smalling is the Ferdinand, Jones is the Vidic, because Jones is a guy who's smashing his head on the floor. That's what I meant. I didn't necessarily mean that these two are going to be those two.
Okay.
But I'm saying the style, the chemistry we have between those two is similar to those two. I'm saying a lot of those twos, these
Jones-
twos, those twos.
Jonesy can also play right back too.
He can.
I think
Yeah.
he's had some real good games out there. So even if they want to bring in somebody else who's a smarter or maybe more of a hammer type defender, they have that option and they can. Like, I think Jones does real well. With that he gets
Yeah.
forward well. He plays in good crosses, and he defends hard.
Yeah, he
you
does.
can't
I
ask
really-
much more for outside back.
I like his game. I just want someone who you know is going to be there.
Exactly.
Someone who won't get injured.
I agree
Yeah.
with that.
That's all
You
I'm
need
saying.
that at center back.
Yeah,
In
a rock.
defense,
You need
actually.
a rock.
Across the whole
Out of
back
every
four.
position, you need
I think that plays
Yeah.
right into our next topic.
What's that?
Well,
Arsenal.
one second about
Great back.
about
Why
United.
Why you gotta bring up that?
About United, I want to talk real quick. What happened to the Italian?
Darmian?
Yeah, where's he been? What's he been doing? Like, why is
I
he not
love that
playing?
guy. I think he's
I
class.
think he's hurt.
Yeah, is
It-
he?
If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken,
he's on the
I think he's
bench.
hurt. Is he?
Yeah, he was on the bench. I'm not sure if you guys heard something about him. I'm not sure why
You
was
know
he
what
not
happened?
performing.
Ashley Young happened.
I-
Ashley Young was so good, he was undeniable.
so he went from forward to midfield to defender.
Undeniable. Man
So,
got,
winger,
got
winger.
the best final delivery on that team. I think maybe second is Juan Mata, but if you want to talk about it in terms of service, his work rate's amazing. I think we're seeing the evolution of Ashley Young. He's went from a left winger to now a right back.
Yeah, he kept it almost like a Valencia where he kept on moving back.
He's showing defensive
Yeah.
quality, right? And I mean,
Ashley Young.
Yeah,
is it maybe because he's put on a little bit more muscle? You know, United gives their guys steroids. Everyone puts on
DeMarcus
extra
Beasley.
10.
Yo, hey, look at DeMarcus Beasley for the U.S. men's national team. Up and coming, like 21, 23 years old, playing at Rangers, was a winger. Was like the future of USA. Oh, he's such a good attacking player. Blah blah blah, and then like he fades away,
Yeah.
and he comes back in our last World Cup, plays left back, captains the team, still has number 7 on from when he was like 20 years old, and now he plays left back, because the winger and outside back position for me is very similar. And one requires obviously more work defensively.
Yeah.
But if you can get forward well and you can defend really well, well then you belong at outside back.
Yeah.
And I think that Ashley Young shows that he's maybe not the most dangerous attacking player, but if you keep him outside back, he can defend well. He gets forward pretty well and can service a really good ball. And from an outside back, that's all you need. You need someone who works hard and that can do that.
I think Darmian, he's been kind of developed by Van Gaal and like just kind of been taken under his wing a little bit. And right now, I see Van Gaal just going strictly for points, strictly for the ducats right now. Nothing personal.
What else is it about?
So Herrera, you can sit your ass out. Darmian, you can sit your ass out. Memphis, if need be, you can sit your ass out.
Yeah.
We're going for these points. And as long as that continues, Man United has a chance to win it.
I got 3 more things. One real quick. Depay playing forward. Do you like him more as a winger or more of a central forward?
Winger.
Both.
Okay. Well,
Oh, you got to pick one, dude.
yeah, you gotta pick one.
He
Either
can.
or.
Winger.
Okay, fantastic. Another one. So you heard Van Gaal talking about Cristiano. Let's wait and hope. So he sounds like he might actually be interested. He might actually really try to push for him.
Dude, I think the best thing that could have happened this weekend, and we'll get into it later, is Real Madrid getting pumped 4-0 by a Messi-less Barcelona. Obviously, Messi came on as a sub, but like that Barcelona team before Messi came on was already in control of that game, and I think Real Madrid is starting to sort of lose their love affair with Ronaldo, and Ronaldo's feeling it too. Now he's thinking about that next move. It's Rafa Benitez. How do you do that? Like, how do you bring in a failed Liverpool
ask Jose
coach?
Mourinho.
Everywhere he goes, he fails.
Ask Jose.
Well, he didn't really fail. I mean, he did win Champions League.
What I'm saying is though,
Liverpool.
like he barely won that
People don't
Champions
like
League.
him.
But I don't think he's done anything.
Did you see the comments?
great.
Did you see the comments Jose's wife got? You see all that stuff?
Yeah.
That for me sums it up.
Yeah.
Jose
No,
Mourinho.
what happened?
Was it Rafa's wife came up and said, "Oh, my husband has to clean up after Jose again."
Yeah.
And Jose was like, maybe you should check with your husband. He went to Inter and he ruined one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
In 3 months.
And he also said, and then he said, maybe you should focus on your husband's diet and not his work.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Nobody else said anything after that. Just saying,
It was
right?
over. It was
But like
dead.
the point that he makes is very good. When Jose went to Inter was nothing. Hadn't won the Serie A. They had nothing.
Yeah.
He goes there. They went to
Treble.
Serie A. They treble. They treble. He goes there. Boom, treble. Done. Okay. This team is the best team in the world now. Diego Milito's unbelievable. Jose leaves, goes to Real.
Yeah.
Where does Inter go? Rafa. Down the
Pressure
tube.
them.
But
Down the tube. They don't even make Champions League.
then again, Jose also left after his normal time. When he stays a little bit longer, like he has at Chelsea, they start to go downhill. So if he stayed at Inter, would they go downhill no matter
That was
if
a
he
Right,
bad
stays?
look.
hey,
He gave him
yeah.
a Ferrari with 100,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
Doesn't matter.
Trust me,
Still
I'm not a fan
Ferrari.
of Rafa. I'm not a
Still
fan of
a Ferrari.
Rafa.
That's a good point. The thing is, when Real Madrid comes knocking at the door, no matter what you're doing, you stop what you're doing, you put it down, and you walk out the door.
I don't know.
Damn
I
straight.
don't
It's
know.
Real Madrid.
I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something
And
next
here's
week.
the thing
And
that
he's Portuguese, so he grew up watching Spanish soccer. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
the
all
thing
it's
that
about.
speaks to Rafa.
He was doing well at Inter. There was nothing. There was no problems with him at Inter. He won 3 Serie A's in a row, I think. Right?
and was managing a volatile Balotelli at the time.
Ibrahimovic.
Still kept him on his wing.
Hello. He had all these. He had all these guys, and he made them superstars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
My thing
and
about
he left, and then he left. That was it.
My thing about Rafa is that really speaks to even his appointment as a manager at Madrid. And this is a little bit of bro science just because I don't have all the actual facts. But there was a Madrid representative who had been quoted as saying that Rafa was about the 4th or 6th on the list of managers that they really wanted.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and so to make that public even, it just speaks to
Because to
the-
show
the
that
level.
Perez, president for Florentino Perez, is
Exactly,
insane.
and it's kind of
No one wants
acknowledged.
to work
So
with him.
Rafa's a great tactician. I'm not going to question, what he knows about his X's and O's, but that thing about coaching is that sort of intangible.
Leader of men.
Yeah, not only a leader of men, but that inspiration that you breed off a Jurgen Klopp, a Alex Ferguson, and Arsene Wenger. There's something about these guys where
Jose Mourinho.
when they step on the pitch, they're even the special one, to be known as the special one, that air of confidence that you carry. To me, Rafa doesn't have that, and that's what separates him from being mentioned among those managers.
And that's why I
Well,
was
does Van Gaal
shocked.
have that?
Yeah, he does.
He does.
think?
Van Gaal
I'm not-
does.
I'm not a
Because when you're
fan.
getting likes from Xavi, when Xavi's bigging you up,
Dude, he coached Bayern, like he's done it. Yeah, Van Gaal, look, I rag on Van Gaal a lot, but I think
The rigid football, you enjoy that, Mister? I like flashy this and
I
flashy
do
that.
not like it. I
Thank
do
you.
not like it. But I was talking to a friend of mine at work, and he put it in a way that totally makes sense. It's like you're building. He's here as a caretaker. He knows as a caretaker. He's here to build a foundation, and it's not about necessarily winning Champions League right now, winning the Prem, but it's about showing the world that there is a structure here, there is a system here, there is youth being blended with older players, the same culture is still alive. And in the meantime, we're going to try to win the Prem, but once that next guy takes over from Van Gaal, that's when I think the machine will be well oiled and it'll be ready to go. So I'm not happy right now with Van Gaal, but we're winning, so I can't be that mad.
So he's a mechanic. He's there to fix the car, but he's not there to drive it right
maybe
now.
test it. Yeah, make sure it's okay, and then hand off the keys
Everybody
to
knows
Pep
that.
Guardiola.
Everybody knows that. He's older. He's getting older. He wants to retire soon.
It's wishful
They're-
thinking right
I
there.
know, I snuck that in.
Nah,
Fuck.
I'm not gonna let you.
No,
He's hoping to get it out.
Come to Arsenal, Pep.
I think that's a good. I mean, I think that's all he's just a caretaker. Like he's old. He's been at
Yeah.
Ajax. He's been at
This is his
Barca. He's
last
been at
job.
Bayern.
He's coached the national team.
He's done so many things, and I mean, he's a dinosaur. I don't even know how old he is, but I think he's just here, and he's just getting ready to just take hand off. I know
Yeah.
you talk about Giggs being the manager next, but I don't even think he's ready. I think you need someone like a Pep, someone who's done a lot.
Yeah, who's sort of built a team from the ground up, not
who's
like a
won
Jose who's a
championships.
hitman.
But you don't want to bring in somebody who is just new to this.
Pep did the same thing that what they're trying to do with Giggs, where Pep was with Barcelona. They won. He coached the B team. Then he coached Barcelona, and then he went on. Well, took the year off in New York, and then went to Bayern. Giggs won trophies. He could be coaching the United B team, but right now he's the assistant coach of the United team, and then he could move on to United, and then wherever. I mean, maybe he wants to say that, but it's the same thing as Pep.
I
Well,
get
kind of. Pep coached a little bit longer than Giggs' tenure, didn't he?
I'm gonna check that because I'm pretty sure that Pep went straight from team to B team.
Because you have to
playing-
figure out
playing-
when they retired. Pep retired earlier than Giggs, had more time to coach. Giggs retired a lot later. But either way, it's semantics. I understand the vision. I'm with you.
So Pep stopped playing in 2006, then coached Barcelona B 2007 to 2008, Barcelona from 2008 to 2012, Bayern from 2013.
2 years. Yeah,
so-
2 years.
Dude, this guy's special. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
so
did
he-
not know that.
Like I
That's
looked it up a
special.
while ago, and this is like one of those
2
things.
years
Where,
after retiring, he's coaching the fucking
That's
first
legit.
team.
yeah,
But
so-
what they did was very smart. They knew that they had a very talented B team coming up through the academy, and what they did when he retired.
Coached them from B
Yes,
team age.
of
and he brought
course,
them-
of course. They said,
Well,
okay,
Mas-
well, it was only 1 year. It was only 1
Barcelona's
year,
a
though.
whole system.
Wait,
you have to
let me
understand.
finish.
Let me
He's
finish.
making
Let me
a
finish.
point.
When you get a team when they're young, when they're impressionable, they're not professional players yet. You know, you get a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
They look at you and you're like, hey, listen, next year I'm going to be the coach of the top team, and I'm going to pick so many of you guys to come with me onto the top team. Do you know how hard that team's going to work for you for the year?
Yeah.
You could get them to do anything you want, and then he takes over the top team and he goes, okay, these 11 players are great. I want all these players on the team. Boom, they're professional players getting paid professional contracts. He made their dreams come true, and he
And
told
they're
them,
loyal to him.
Yeah, and of
Yeah.
course they do anything for him.
Yeah.
And what he's also able to do is instill the mentality of the team, what he wants to do. Like, okay, you don't go out past this time. You don't drive this car. You have to do this. You have to behave like a little
And they
boy.
all
You-
buy in.
and they
all
do
buy
it.
in.
They all drive Audis. Okay, you don't hear about them in the media. Okay, you don't hear. They don't come out and say things like you don't hear anything about Barcelona players because they're supposed to behave like respectable other Spanish just citizens.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be above citizenship. They're supposed to just be normal people. And he did that to these kids at like 18, 17 years old.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, and they do that professionally.
But how many of those kids actually made it to the first team, though?
Not too many.
Yeah, I don't think
No,
that.
but I mean, still,
I was
like,
just thinking
it's- even
Bojan
if you
Karkic.
even if you pluck like 4 or 5 of them, like it's still.
I think
like-
it was less than that. I really do. The big thing I also have to say is that one thing you have to remember about Pep is that he also did have he went from playing at Barcelona, ended in 2001, and then came back in 2007 to coach. So he was playing at other teams. I just want to get that in first. So he didn't just go straight from Barcelona to coaching Barcelona. That's
Yeah.
a big point I just want to make.
Yeah, I'm hoping Real Madrid does the same with Zizou, Zidane, who was a legend. I know he was also put in charge of the B team for them. I think his son Enzo as well played under him.
He's a captain.
Yeah, so I mean that's a lot of hype to live up to, huh?
That
Imagine being
sucks.
Zidane's son.
It's like being Jordan's kid.
Like you can't go anywhere but down.
Yeah, man.
There actually is a video online about Zidane and his son playing like a little like 2v2 like giveaway competition. Have you seen it? Little video, little fun.
No,
That's just a
post
little.
that up. We'll post that up on the Twitter.
Yeah, that's just a little ADD moment there for you.
Nice. So real quick, Farid, before you go, man of the match.
Man of the match for me. You do it.
Watford.
You go first. You go first. I'm not ready. I'm not prepared. Wasn't ready for that
Watford
curveball.
United, man of the match. Bring it back. I'd probably say De Gea. De Gea made some special saves in that game.
World class.
Without him, we're down 2-1, 3-1. Like he just played. He played unreal as always. Bailed us out. Tom.
I mean, my boy Memphis. I mean, I know the head did bail you out, and he may have not honestly had like the most impactful performance in terms of just work rate.
Yeah.
But he had a clinical goal. Starting in a center forward role, really gave the team more energy. Played some good passes into Lindegaard. I thought Lindegaard could have been more clinical. But Memphis Depay.
Nice.
I gotta agree with Tommy there. That's 100% right. Memphis Depay. You know, he's new to the team this year, and he just keeps scoring goals. You know, he pops up in every couple games and he puts one in, and he's just he's a threat. And
Yeah.
you know he's gonna be in the lineup. You know you're gonna have to defend him, and he's tough to stop.
Yeah.
So it's good to see from him.
The stud.
See, the big thing for me is, well, Lingard, he did have a decent game, but he didn't finish it. So I can't really say him. Depay, he finished one, but it's one of those things where he was close to being one of the top players. He obviously was, but he might have been the top player for me, but not really. Swansea came in at the end, really came in and bid. He was the rock for the most part, but when it comes down to it, Watford. We're talking about Watford here. 2-1 against Watford, and you had to rely on your goalie? Come on, De Gea is the play of the game because of this. Weren't there 2 saves at the end or something?
Yeah,
that
he had
he made.
special
save.
There was
Yeah.
one.
Special save.
He came to the right side, and it was maybe
He
a
was going
deflection.
left. There was a deflection, so he had to drop to
It
the
was
right. It was
that shows that he is top 2, top 3 goalies in the world easily.
He has at least one of those a game.
That
At least one.
One of those
without De
saves,
Gea,
yeah.
I think that they lose probably 2 games extra and probably would have tied another game. So they would have been out, maybe even out of the top 4.
Well, you say Watford, and look, I know Watford isn't the strongest squad. You know, I kind of feel for Watford fans with their goalkeeper Aurelio Gomez, who at one point had world class potential, but to me is more like a poor man's Barthez. You know, he's good for a mistake. Every other game. But I think Watford's a well-organized team. It's just it's a promoted team.
Yeah.
But the reason why you do get your Schweinsteigers, leaders like this, is for what he does in the last minute. That never give up attitude. He just keeps going at it. Doesn't faze him that they just tied up the game as a result of the penalty. And the one great thing about Man United is when they typically get scored on, they're very great at putting pressure on the opposition. So
I agree with you on that one. Where the defense did really well for United. Where Gallo, he was nowhere to be found. He did nothing that game. I mean, he had like 3 shots, but like
earned a PK.
Well, and he did that. True. Okay, so I can't really be that harsh. But usually, I feel like I'm
better.
used to him doing a lot more, especially for the year that he's had. When he's on the field, like he, in my mind, will score almost, and he didn't do as much as I thought he could have done.
Nah, he's not the Black Vardy.
Exactly. And Dini, I mean, he did his thing. He played hard. He had his inmates in there, but not enough. So I do have to agree with you that it is Watford. They do play well. They play hard, but it's United. Now, if you want to say, "Oh, Watford's really organized," it's United.
My dude,
United
it's
should
the EPL, and Arsenal just lost to West Brom.
I know, but
Speaking of that,
is United?
Let's get right into that.
To be fair, is Arsenal on the same
Tom,
level
why don't
as
you kick
United?
us
I mean,
Yes.
what I'm saying is,
Over the past 3 years, yes.
well, okay, we're talking about 3 years.
Since
But when
Fergie retired,
when
yes.
people talk about soccer, if you say, "Give me 3 soccer teams in the world," are they going to say Arsenal?
What are we talking about?
how does this debate get to here?
What? Well, I'm saying they're going to say
We
United.
just transition into West Brom Arsenal. Bumpy course, ladies and gentlemen. Put on your seatbelts.
Arsenal getting shot at. It's like, wait,
Settle up.
how are you shooting at Arsenal?
All right, let's let Tom go with this. Tom, let's talk. Let's talk. I mean, I know you're a big Arsenal fan. I mean,
Boys,
you've been
what-
giving me a hard time all season being a Chelsea fan. So this is it's a really great day for all of us here.
I love it.
It hurts.
I'm happy.
All right, go ahead. What do you got?
Santi. I can't believe it. Santi Cazorla, man. I
Captain
mean, I guess
Santi.
we'll go from back to front with this. Had an opportunity to score a penalty kick to tie it up. Arsenal have been playing an awful game, quite honestly.
It was ugly.
It was ugly, and I gotta give credit to some of the West Brom players, especially McLean, that left winger. Was given Hector Bellerin nightmares, and he's been probably like one of our best defenders, one of the best defenders in the league.
He's sneaky deceptive.
Dude, I was watching that game like from the first minutes. I was
his technical ability is very high.
Physical,
but he's
smart.
He's very physical.
Yeah, he just put a body on him.
He puts high pressure, and when he gets the ball, he's very dangerous. He's got good feet. I think he makes a lot of things happen.
Surprised to watch that game.
Yep, on my fantasy team, just saying.
Is he? Yeah.
I wasn't surprised though at the slow start of Arsenal. We're starting Kieran Gibbs at left wing, so right away that let me know that the squad was
the dice
thin
again, dude.
Look, and I don't know. Look, Wenger's been known to do this in the past, where he's converted players from midfielders to forwards with the likes of Henry, Robert van Persie.
Yeah.
These guys have become world-class forwards. So now we might be looking at a defender who's being transitioned into an attacker, but he doesn't quite seem to have the attacking prowess, I should say, the finishing. He had Kieran Gibbs, I thought, did all right. He had some good crosses in, but it smells of desperation for me. It was a sad performance. I really would rather not talk about it because it hurts.
All right, I'm gonna be nice with you now. I think that the emerging problems without Theo Walcott are bad. I think that you're less attacking. You lack that extra something on the wing. Yeah. And I think with Theo Walcott's in the lineup with Giroud as your big man, I know they've been playing him instead of Giroud, but I think with the two of them together are just so dangerous.
Yeah, and it's so Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's also injured too.
Yeah. That's the story of Arsenal's last 5 years, injuries.
Speaking of it,
every year.
Go ahead, Tom. I know you're passionate about.
It's got to be something with the physio.
Every year.
Something with the physio. There's got to be wrong.
Literally, our best player this year, not in terms of goals, but our most consistent player, Francis Coquelin, goes down today, gets injured. It looked like his knee. First 10 minutes in. As a result of that, we bring in Mikel Arteta, who's old as fuck. He gets injured.
Don't doubt him. He's a good player.
Also Mikel.
And then we're forced to replace him with Flamini.
He had a nightmare, Mikel Arteta, in the sense that he comes on, he gives away that free kick to give them their first goal, and then he scores an own goal. Like, it sucks for Arteta. It doesn't speak to who he is, but I'm just saying, without injuries, Arsenal.
Yes, it does.
When it's not your day, it's not your day, man.
It's not his day.
I've been there. You never had a bad day?
Honestly, you're right, though.
I agree.
If Arteta's not on the field, obviously that's a different game. Coquelin, you could argue, wouldn't make those same mistakes. But Coquelin's also an aggressive tackler. So that's how the free kick was given away by a silly tackle. So Coquelin could have easily done it. But it goes to speak about, Arsenal's depth. I don't know why Wenger just doesn't buy solid squad players every year. I know Arsenal's more frugal and financially aware, but you gotta pad that squad, man. That squad struggles every.
For me, it's been a couple seasons that Arsenal has the same problem. Center back.
Yep.
Center back. You have one center back. You don't I think Lauren Konchesky is a quality center back. I think he does a good job. I don't rate Per Mertesacker very high. I think you keep Per Mertesacker, but you need to bring in a true number one.
Yeah.
I think that his pace obviously is a problem, especially for the EPL. And I just think he's not a true one.
He's the biggest liability on our team. Every time, Per Mertesacker, and he's our captain, which is odd.
I don't get it.
I do get it. He has a lot of experience playing in Germany. He's a World Cup winner. So, you have to show him his respects as far as his career goes. But
captain?
In the league he's in, he cannot keep up with the pace. I thought Koscielny's also a really good defender. Had a rough game today, but
let's say he isn't captain. Who's captain of that team for you?
I don't know, man. It's sad.
That's the problem. You don't have an identity on that team.
I don't know.
No,
we need
It can't be Ozil. He's too new.
What about Czech?
Too new.
Czech.
Czech, it's his first year in the team. He can't be captain. No way.
I wouldn't mind it if it was Sanchez, because at least he leads by example. He's busting his balls 90 minutes.
No,
no, dude,
Alexis.
That's my argument.
I can see Alexis.
I can't see Cazorla. His play is not inspiring. You need someone whose play is inspiring. Not necessarily scoring goals, but you need someone who inspires.
Let's say
like Ramsey could be a captain.
I was thinking
Wilshere.
Or
he's been here since he's 16.
Hey, let's say this. Let's say in this game, Konchesky goes. What's his name? Merseyside goes down injured. Who's the captain armband go to in that game? Who's it go to?
Who's in?
Alexi.
You think he goes to Sanchez?
No.
Ballerini?
Alexi, dude.
Who does it go to?
It's gotta be Alexi.
It's probably
that
gonna
guy.
go to Koscielny. It's probably going right to Koscielny.
And then when he goes down?
when he goes down, I don't know. Most likely Sanchez.
Right? But
Yeah.
but it's just it's
so
tough. They don't.
thin.
I think
Yeah,
they don't have
so
a good.
thin.
They have a bunch of good players.
Well, who's
who
the
haven't
vice
played together
captain?
for long enough?
Who's the vice captain on the team?
Wilshere, maybe? Like on paper?
Yeah, on
I'll
paper,
look
I
it
don't
up.
know.
I know it's Ramsey captain, but Vice, I'm not sure.
See, for me, Mertesacker, way too slow. He's as tall as can be, so slow.
He's a
People
fraud.
run around him. That's all it is. When you look at this game, Gibbs, midfield? What are we thinking here?
It's crazy.
You start Gibbs and midfield.
Who else? You're gonna play a Phobie?
Or
that's
you
the
could
problem.
play
It's-
one of the midfielders in the midfield.
I would
Flamini?
have started Mikel Arteta personally.
I think I would have started Flamini over all of them.
Hold on. So then you don't start Coquelin. You have
No. The Coquelin, no.
Oh, so who
No,
would you play?
I'm saying I would have Flamini start in midfield over Gibbs.
No,
Nah,
Gibbs was playing
you
left
can't.
winger.
It's left
it
wing.
was Santi Cazorla, Coquelin, and Holden mid. And
the guy
then
Gibbs was a
Ozil.
midfielder.
He was a left winger.
Yeah.
He was?
Yeah,
I didn't know
they
that.
call him midfielder, but yeah, he was like left wing, like an attacking left mid.
Like just up and down that flank. So the thing is,
You need pace.
unless you're gonna put
That's the
Santi
thing.
up there, who can play that position, but he doesn't have the pace.
See, I think that's a
like you're
defensive
saying.
move. I think they could have started Joel Campbell.
Could
You
have.
know, if they want to go attacking, they would, which is more
Joe
Arsenal style,
Campbell on the left wing
Oh, it's-
over
Kieran Gibbs, especially against a
Was he
team,
on the
especially against a
bench?
team like West. Yeah, he's on the bench.
He had started the past 4 games.
Yeah, he was doing well.
and scored. He scored his
Yeah, he was
debut.
on the
So I don't,
I don't-
understand. I mean, you're playing West Brom, okay? You know, it's a very defensive team. You know they're gonna pack it in anyway. So why not just go at them with guns blazing?
know
Honestly, I
why?
think he played Gibbs because Gibbs scored that winner. So I think he felt like Gibbs earned
that's
that
a dumb
position.
move. That's a dumb move.
It is. It
and
is.
essentially put Alexis at right wing.
Yeah.
And
Arsenal had 73% possession. You think Joel Campbell would have got the ball and been able to be creative in the final third?
Yeah,
They had the
definitely.
ball. They had the ball.
Gibbs had a
2/3 of the
couple
game.
of chances too, and he just blew it because
he's not
He's
not
a
a
left back.
natural
Yeah, he's
attacker.
a left
Put him
back.
in,
Hey, you know who is?
put him in defense.
Joel Campbell.
And you know who has a cannon? Joe Campbell.
Boom. Put him
But
in.
when he did enter, Joe Campbell did have the opportunity to tie it up. Santi played a great ball over the top, clipped it in, and he just shanked it, man. He
Yeah, but
just
imagine
shanked
if
it.
he had 10
Right.
chances instead of just one.
No, I agree with you. He should have started.
Yeah.
We're on the same
Right.
page. But I saw Wenger's frustration. Honestly, I think Wenger just doesn't like him as a player. I don't know why. I love him. I think he has great potential. But I think Wenger has a very,
maybe it's-
very short leash with him.
Maybe it's because of that miss you saw. Maybe because he does that once a training session. He just has just one where he just blows the chance. So maybe Arsene just doesn't trust him, and he proved.
Hey,
by
maybe,
missing that chance.
maybe he's still developing him. You know, he's still young.
But the thing is,
Maybe he's just still working on it.
No,
I
but
don't know.
Wenger,
But it's
Wenger,
been rough.
Wenger,
He's given him a short leash this season. Basically, if he didn't score on that debut season, that game last week, he probably wouldn't
Yeah, but-
have made.
Hey,
The thing
that's
is-
gonna
the
make
thing
you
is
work really
Wenger-
hard. I don't know. I'm okay with that.
The thing is, Wenger's a manager that develops players. So it's not like Wenger doesn't have patience. Like, he's developed Ramsey when the whole media was saying Ramsey's crap, give up on Ramsey. If Ramsey's healthy, Ramsey's a stud for that team. So, like, he's not the type when he bought Henry was a right midfielder. He developed him into one of the best
my
forwards in
God.
the world. So, like,
Best
for
forwards ever
for
of all
him-
time.
Of all time, you could say. For him not to play Joe Campbell, there's something there. It's not just Wenger being like, oh, I don't trust him.
And must like fuck around or something.
And that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
there's
Take a
something there.
page out of Klopp's book. Give him a hug. Be happy with him. Smile. Invest in him. Show him some love. And I think that
Yeah, that's not his style. That's not
managers,
his-
it's not a style, but I think managers have certain positions. Managers have certain players who they just don't like, and they
Yeah,
see.
so you should get rid of him.
Because
if you don't
some
like him, get rid
some
of him.
managers that come from the thought process that, I'm going to treat you all the same, and you're going to deal with it.
Yeah,
In reality, if you do that, there's going to be people that are not going to like you,
yeah,
and there's going to be people that really like you.
yeah.
That's just life. So I mean, the fact that Arsene Wenger treats everybody the same, and he's not doing well, he doesn't score a goal, so he's like, you're not playing again. He would do that to anybody.
Yeah.
I just think that's he's not going to change. This is the way I do things. This is how it is.
Yeah,
You don't like
he
it,
had
you
an
go.
undefeated season coaching the way he coaches.
You
so,
can't
like,
tell him
it's-
what to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would just say get the players who respond to your system.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's
I don't think Joel Campbell will make it, but I do think he's a promising young talent there.
Yeah.
And if he
He's
does,
always helpful.
I'm rooting for him. I'm always rooting for him because I like his work rate and his attitude. But if he doesn't
too,
make it, I
man.
get it. Like he'll do well somewhere else. It's
Yeah.
not a big. It's not the end of the world. He just has to go to the right system.
All in all, I thought there were all a bunch of soft goals. If you just review these goals, two set piece goals and an own goal.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
Mesut
was so.
Ozil continued his fine form of assists, getting the ball from the right field from the right side of the field. From a set piece, Arsenal this season has been spectacular with their set pieces and corner kicks offensively.
How were they last season?
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
not as good as this season.
Right. No doubt.
Nowhere near as good as this season. They seem to have really put in the work in training. Giroud also continued his rich vein of form, getting a goal.
Olivier.
But then on the opposite side of it, West Brom comes back. Chris Brunt delivers great delivery. And Morrison, nice finish with the outside of his right foot. I thought Santi Cazorla and Hector Bellerin, who I thought was the flop of the match, should have done a lot better in being goal side with that Morrison goal. But, I mean, another great ball from Chris Brunt. And again, like the own goal to Arteta. McLean, who was a savage, just
got the assist on the own goal.
basically giving Bellerin a nightmare. Got the assist on the own goal. So,
Yeah.
soft goals.
One guy that I really feel for, West Brom. I mean, we know him. We forgot about him.
Who?
We didn't forget about him.
Ricky Lambert.
Oh.
I mean, it's
all
one of
right,
those-
Liverpool.
No, it's one of those things where even before that, when he was on Southampton, he was a guy that really made it up there. He worked his way up more than any other player, I feel like, in the whole league. He
guy-
worked
he
and worked and
definitely-
worked. And then in 1 year of just going to a big club, disappeared.
Do you know who's in front of him on this lineup?
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, I
his
feel for
peak.
him because he was doing so well. He had momentum going,
I don't-
momentum.
He's
goes to Liverpool,
old.
and then just
He's like
I don't feel
33.
bad
I think
because
that
he
man
got to
lived
play
his
for
dream.
for his dream club.
Well, I don't know.
Like imagine like one of us dreaming of playing for you, Liverpool, me, United, and we get to play there for a year. Like that's plenty for
to
me.
sacrifice an entire career for 10
1
minutes.
year?
For 10 minutes.
For your life
Dude.
goal.
Like, dude, if that's your passion, like if you're playing soccer and you had an opportunity right now, and they say you're gonna play soccer from the time you're 20, not even 20 actually. They
I
say
think
from
it's
the time
different
you're
for us to talk about it.
No, but I'm saying from the time you're 12, you're going to work hard. Because you said he's a blue-collar guy. He worked hard. He played soccer part-time, worked his way through the leagues. He wasn't this youth academy kind of player. And then to get a season at Liverpool,
Yeah.
dude, I
That's-
think that's a great career for him.
No, that's one guy that I wish Poole didn't buy, so he could have still been hopefully on Hampton or something.
He wouldn't have been.
Well, I don't know. I don't know
would've
where.
gotten pushed
Well, we
out.
don't.
Look
We
at
don't know.
South-
We don't know where he would have been. That's
We
the
don't
thing.
know, but like
It's
look
hard
at
to
Southampton
say.
today. He would never get a minute looking at Southampton today.
My thing is, I can't feel bad for him because it's not like he had a career-threatening injury and then his potential was
Okay,
somehow.
we're not trying to be morbid about
no,
it.
I'm just saying that like, who was this guy? He was purchased at 29 years old, like 30 years old. He wasn't in like the run that Vardy's even in. He was just sort of like a good player.
Yeah.
He hit his peak, man. He hit his peak. I think.
Got
you
to
just
play Liverpool
Smile,
for a
man.
year,
Yeah,
dude.
just
He got-
you know.
He got to taste that
He
dream.
lived his dream. Man lived his dream.
I think Poole killed him.
I think they made his dream come true. He said he literally grew up a pool fan. Like he wanted to play a pool. Like for him to play a pool is like a dream come true.
Do you think his potential was greater?
I think he could have done something more than what he did last year.
Score
Play?
more goals on a lesser
Yeah, exactly. Play. That's the thing. He wasn't even given a chance to play. That's the thing that hurts. Because
Yeah.
you say, oh, he was given a chance to play at Liverpool.
He was.
When- when-
They bought him.
Yeah,
Was,
but
yeah.
when, how much time? That's the thing.
Time
That's
is
for
earned.
him
Time
to
is
earn
earned.
it.
Time is
Yeah,
earned,
that's for
son.
him
It's
to
not. Time
earn
is
it.
earned. It's not
They
given.
buy you an opportunity. They're buying you for an opportunity to play. They're not buying you to
It's-
play.
it's
Unless
not-
they put it in your contract.
It's not based on what you've done
Yeah.
or how good you've
Well, I
been. It's based on
understand
what
that.
you do at practice and how well you fit into their system and how
They gave
effective
him a
you can
chance,
be.
House. They
No.
did, dude. They just didn't give him time
That-
on the field because he didn't earn it. But they literally said, come practice with us. If you're hot in practice, you're going to start the game. And he wasn't hot in practice.
Well, maybe he was. Maybe just Rodgers didn't like him because how many times have
So
other
it didn't
people?
fit the system, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that's why I feel bad for him because if
Fuck him.
he's a heart,
But didn't Rodgers bring him in? Who brought him in?
Rodgers did.
Yeah. So, like, what
Was it on
why
a
would
free
Rodgers
transfer
bring
or
him
was it
in
like $1 million?
and not like him? Like, it just...
Why did he bring in Lallana and not like him.
He did like Lallana.
he just-
This is what happens
when
it's not liking a player. It's just cracking the code.
It wasn't working.
It wasn't personal.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
why I feel bad
understand.
for him.
And he's coming from the side of he feels bad for the player as a player.
Yes,
like
exactly.
if you're a player and you go into a specific club, you kind of hit your peak. You realize, shit, I'm not gonna get as much time. As a player, you want more. You want to score the game-winning goal that's gonna win the league.
Yeah, his
you know what I'm saying?
dream-
And he wasn't on the field for the 4th and inches.
His
He wasn't
dream
on the
turned
field
into
for that.
like a daydream. Basically, he was like not even a nightmare, just a daydream. Just like, oh, it happened. I think.
Yeah.
Did that happen? Was I there?
It's one of those things that you can't
It's-
brag on. You can't
Yeah.
be like, oh yeah, these are all my boys. Just like, yeah, I was on that team.
I was like, I think I was on that team.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I was on that team.
Speaking of Ricky Lambert, Jamie Vardy peaking around the same time Lambert did. Jamie Vardy, 28. Ties the record, Ruben Van Nistelrooy's record, and guess what the next game is?
Oh, I love it.
Poetic.
Irony.
Against Man United. Well, it's at Leicester, but against Man United.
Do we want to wrap up this this Arsenal game with some MVPs and go to that
I
Leicester
think
City
we
game?
did, right?
No MVPs.
Yeah, I think we did.
No,
we
we
sort of
did.
did it
No.
backwards. We didn't do it backwards?
No, we did
I
not.
thought we did backwards. All right.
Not for this game.
My bad, guys.
It's okay, I'm paying attention.
My MVP for this game was McLean. This dude, man, just. I think Hector Bellerin has been probably the top right back in the league this season in terms of his defensive and offensive qualities. I think he shut him down. Was all over him. Really showed his physique and just his heart. Managed to scrap a goal for West Brom off that Arteta own goal. But he was always looking threatening. Always had a purpose throughout the game. Chris Brunt is an honorable mention as well. But yeah, really, really good game for McLean.
Yeah, I say that too. I think he had a solid game. He was the quiet star of the game, sort of carried the team, not intentionally, but just the way he played, fearless, going after Bellerin, like taking him on, being physical. I'd say for me, McLean as well.
One other thing, real quick, Jakob, the holding midfielder. I like that player.
I like Jakob.
I like
Israeli.
Jakob.
For me, it's got to be Chris Brunt. He's just been a terrific player for them all season. He's their captain. He's their penalty kick taker. He's got a booming left foot on him, and he had an assist in the game, and he really sets a tone for the whole West Brom team. I think with his desire and his passion, and you could see he plays with such intensity, and just it makes that team play hard, and that's how they beat them. They outplayed them. It was a miserable day, miserable weather, and West Brom dug it out. It's in West Brom kind of style, and they got 3 points. That's what it's all about.
Love it. Us?
On this one, Sandy Cazorla. No, I'm just joking. No.
That wasn't funny. That was not funny.
Sorry, Arsenal.
Never apologize. For this.
It's one of those things where I don't know. It's because West Brom is such a team effort. It's hard. I mean, to keep Arsenal at 1 goal, that's pretty remarkable for a team that West Brom is.
Well, you got to add in the portion that they were talking shit to him when he earned the penalty kick as well. I don't know. I think it was Gardner. There was a substitute who was brought on. That asshole.
Oh, Craig Gardner.
Craig Gardner, he was brought on. Yeah, I like him.
He was
I like him
talking
as a
really.
player.
For a Sasson.
It was odd because the PK was almost delayed a couple of seconds because all the West Brom players were trying to get in his ear and play mental games. But at the end of the day, the physical slip is really what took place.
Oh, the slip. I would say that
Did
just
Gerrard slip?
I would say probably James Morrison, the goal scorer. Without that goal, they don't win. So I'd say we have to go with him with game.
I love it.
All right.
Now that my smooth transition was chopped up, back to Leicester, Jamie Vardy. What do you guys think, man? Beautiful story, huh?
Leicester City, they don't do anything particularly special. There's nothing special about them, but they could be down 2-3 goals in a game. They're playing with the same intensity they are in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And I think that, something Claudio Ranieri's doing, the Tinkerman there, something he's got going on with these boys. He's just got them believing in themselves, believing in the fact that anybody can win the league, and they're doing it. They're top of the league. We're talking, it's almost December here.
Dude,
That's unheard of. It's unheard of.
Unbelievable.
Dude, I think I might want Ranieri to manage Arsenal.
I was thinking the same thing.
This dude is world class.
Well, I don't know world class, but he's
world class. He's managed in Italy.
managed Chelsea.
He's managed Chelsea. Look, the infrastructure he set up for Chelsea, that was Claudio Ranieri, my friend, before Mourinho got there.
He started buying the big players. Yes, it was.
Yes,
it was.
Check your history, my friend. Yes.
No. I'll check it right now. I'll fact check you right now.
Go for it, Rogan.
All right.
Yeah,
Go ahead with your point.
I agree with you 100%.
He's one of those
Tommy.
players one of those managers, who set the foundation for the new age Chelsea, which we know today.
The one with Abramovich where he got all the money. That new age. Are you talking that new age, or we? I mean, Mourinho came in and had money to spend.
Hey, jealousy doesn't smell good on you. Let me tell you.
Not jealousy. It's just the fact that Mourinho came in with unlimited funds and took that squad to the next
So did
level.
Ranieri brought Desailly,
they are
Floyd
managers
Hasselbank,
who
all these
may
guys.
have taken the squad to the next level, but there were managers prior to that who set the foundation, who also encapsulated the tradition of the club. And Ranieri was one of those managers for Chelsea. We have a Chelsea fan right here.
Listen, whether or not Ranieri is actually responsible for it or not, is they hired him at the time when they came into a lot of money, and they started buying all these world class players. They needed someone of a certain level to manage them, and they brought in Ranieri.
Yeah, he's a great manager.
He picked the players. He set the tone, created a winning atmosphere, and said, this club can win trophies. And you can't just have some former player do it. It doesn't work. You need a guy that is respected, well known, has a little bit of history to him, and can really set the tone.
Think about it. Why do you think Leicester City was able to bring in Esteban Cambiaso?
There's no other reason.
Why else would a player like that come to
but-
Leicester if it wasn't for Ranieri?
There's one reason.
The Italian man.
Hold on one
he's
second.
managed a lot of people in Italy.
I think you guys forget where Leicester was last season. I mean, Leicester.
I don't forget where they were. They were at the bottom of the table for like the last 3 months.
Exactly. That's my point.
Shit.
So, like, bringing in Cambiaso, yes, that's a good signing, but Leicester was one of the teams touted to be relegated this year by the media.
Were they?
No. So
Did he keep them up?
You're missing my point. You're acting like I'm saying Ranieri is a bad manager, but to say he's world class puts him in the same boat as the Mourinhos, the Peps. Like, let's calm down. He's a great manager. He's a fantastic manager. He's the type of manager who builds foundations.
He's better than Rafa.
Better than Rafa, you could say. I might back that statement. But to
Rafa
put him in the
coached
same
Real,
boat
same.
as the Peps, as the Mourinhos, let's all calm down. Let's slow down. Leicester's good, but he almost got him relegated last year. Let's all slow down.
Almost was the key word in that phrase.
But world-class managers don't almost get anyone relegated, including Mourinho at FC Porto.
With what funds to work? There's a lot of things that come into play.
FC Porto won a Champions League. You could say Leicester.
But they're also like one of the most they earn the most revenue in Portugal. They're one of those teams.
The ones that earn the most revenue in Portugal don't compare to the teams that earn revenue in the Prem. Prem teams on the bottom will earn just not as much, but similar revenues streams because the league is so popular. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, all I'm saying is Ranieri's not world class. He's on his way. He's not world class.
You act like this dude's 30 years old. He's older than Mourinho and Pep.
It's not age. I'm saying in his career he's on his way. Some managers get success at 35. Some get it at 65. Go ahead. So you think
I got something.
I do. Look, I don't think he's the same boat. I think he's
that's world class boat.
No, because those dudes are great. It's like saying like, oh yeah, if you're not Messi, Ronaldo status, you're not amazing.
No. Okay, so you're saying he's top 5 in the world managers.
No, I think he's top. Like, I think he's 10? Up there. I think he's up. If you give him a club to manage,
but we're talking today. Yes, if you give him Real Madrid, he'll do wonders with Madrid. We're saying today at Leicester, he's world class. No, he's on his way.
They're top.
What about Pochettino then? Then he's got to be world class.
Of course he is.
No, dude, not yet. You guys are opening up world class. It's either you're awful or you're world class. There's nothing in between.
There's no good.
Yeah, there's no good for you guys. It's world class. Ranieri's a good manager. Pochettino's a good manager. Rodgers. Go ahead, say your point.
No. I'm not. I'm trying to. Go ahead, Farid.
What are you watching football?
No, I got it. No, it's just I think you say he's better than Rafa Benitez. You know, Rafa Benitez coaches Real Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, Gareth Bale,
and he's getting exposed as not a world class manager.
It doesn't matter. He's coaching Real Madrid,
but he's not world class. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's a bad manager.
I agree with that, but if you can coach at Real Madrid, if you are hired to coach Real Madrid, you got to be a pretty good coach.
Yes, pretty good.
Right.
Not necessarily world class.
I think you have to be. You have to be somewhere in the A range.
No, I think Florentino Perez, the president, is like a dictator, so you don't have to be world class because he'll pick whoever he wants, kind of like Abramovich does at Chelsea. You don't have to be world class to coach at Chelsea. You just have to be liked by the owner.
That's a fair point. It's a fair
That's
point.
all I'm saying.
And Perez, quote unquote, said he wanted a Spanish manager, but that's another topic for another day. We're on Leicester, and the thing about Ranieri is I agree with you, Tiki. He's had a good few months. We can't get. I mean, it's November. It's November.
And he almost got him relegated last year, guys.
He's having a player breaking a record right now. And if that player is not breaking that record, then they're probably at 7th place right now.
He scored 12 of the 26 goals.
Exactly.
How many goals do they have? Let me look this up real quick.
And I'm not even saying, hey, Vardy, don't even score every other game. I'm saying if he just doesn't score in like 3 of those games, they might be in 6th place.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Ranieri's bad.
And at the beginning,
world class though,
with Mahrez, at the beginning, the first 3 games, he was lighting it up. Without Vardy and Mahrez.
Yeah.
I mean, is it the coach or is it the passion of the players?
Good.
Is it just luck?
I think it's
it
both,
could be
man.
everything.
I think it's both. But this guy has a history of bringing teams which were relegated and promoting them. Like Ranieri's. Look, if you want to say he's Mourinho level, Pep level, I'll agree with you.
I'm
No,
saying
he's
world class. Like Ancelotti's also in there. Mancini.
No, but he's right. He's right. He's right on that cusp.
Yes,
he's right on that cusp.
I'll give you that.
But he's not. I'm not gonna
that
say he's all the way up there just because of recent
fantastic
history.
on his way up, just like Pochettino, just like a Rodgers. They're not quite world class yet, but they're on there. They could
until you're winning like multiple Champions Leagues,
or even one. If he wins one with Leicester, I'll say he's world class. Just like Mourinho, when he won one with Porto, you could say he's world class.
That's also
you just need one ridiculous accomplishment, and I could say world class as long as you back it up with other solid, not one hit wonder.
That's also
he hasn't backed it up yet. He hasn't backed it up yet.
He won Champions League.
Yeah,
that's also a few months from now because, like he said, it's November. Would you say if Harry Redknapp brought a team to, let's say, 3rd place, 2nd place, first place in November?
Tom,
what I'm saying is, he brought other teams up from relegation.
Yeah.
So if he brought a team up to 1st place in November, you're saying he's world class?
No, not necessarily.
Same thing almost.
Yeah, but
I think he's world class. I think Harry Redknapp's world class. You know what he does? He has a special skill, and his skill is that when a team is failing and they're struggling, he can save them and bring them together and have them win points and stay in the division. That's a skill.
I think to be world class, part of being world class is that you're considered for top 4 jobs in a lot of the major leagues. You're not necessarily getting those jobs, but you're considered. I've never heard a Harry Redknapp rumor when, a Chelsea job is open. Like, I wish he did, because I love Harry Redknapp, and I think the biggest failure that England has ever made was not having him in charge of the national team. I think he's a fantastic manager. I don't know if he was tested enough to be world class. I feel like part of being world class is being able to coach that big team and carry those players, not necessarily winning silverware, but being able to manage those players where they see you as one of their own, world class. So
I think it's our definition of world class.
Yeah.
I look at world class as from a sense that it's your coachability. How good are you at coaching? And for someone to go into a team to a situation that's absolutely failing. You can't even get the water bottles lined up. Like everything is going wrong.
Yeah.
And you come in and you can refix a situation and you can get that team to succeed and win and stay. And to me, that's something that is.
I agree. I think
that's world class. That's a world class move.
And there are a lot of coaches out there who aren't recognized per se. We have all these sexy names out there who are always kind of put on with the same kind of teams, but I think a lot of coaches don't get the recognition they deserve.
And I think a lot of humans in general don't get the recognition they deserve, and that's because I don't think a lot of humans are world class. It's just people who are special. And yes, there are people who are good and do more work than those special ones. But the ones who are special, part of being special is being able to wriggle through everyone else who's doing a good job. You could say Moyes. He's kept Everton at like a level that it's been sustained for years and years and years, and you could have argued that he's world class. And United made that point and brought him in.
He never won with United.
But what did Harry Redknapp win? He didn't win a title. Like, you know what I mean? So that's my point. What did Claudio Ranieri win? Like,
he won with teams in Italy. He's won Super Copas and things like that with Juventus and Inter.
But I'm saying now, but now he's at like a Leicester. So you know what I mean? From a Juventus Inter, you figured he would move,
which is why
like an Arsenal.
Okay, all right, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when you come into a team like Leicester, they say, okay, hey, these are your goals. Survive.
But he came in though. That's the difference. Is that he came into a team like Leicester. He didn't go to a team like Chelsea. He didn't go to a team like Villarreal, Athletic. You know what I mean? Like he took a step down in his career, and there's a reason he took a step down. It's not because he was looking for a challenge. Look at Klopp. He goes from Dortmund to Liverpool. Like he made, you could say, a lateral move. Maybe it's even a step up because now he's in the Prem on the biggest stage. Down. I think it's a step up because he's on the biggest stage in the world now. Now we get to see what Klopp's made of. So as far as like team versus team, you could say it's a step down, but he took a step up in his career. Ranieri,
okay.
I don't know. I'm not. You see, now I'm coming off like I'm hating on this guy. It's not. I'm just bringing him down to reality. Is that would I rather have Ranieri or Mancini? I feel like I'd rather have Mancini.
I feel like you're crazy.
I feel like I'd rather have Vardy.
We'll round it up with that. So, all right, we killed a lot of time on that one. We're running out of time, boys. We got to make this one quick.
MVP?
So,
no MVP?
MVP with that game.
You know.
It's Vardy.
It has to be Vardy.
Vardy, unanimous decision. Love it. All right, let's touch on the last couple of games. We got Everton, Villa.
Lukaku stepping up.
Taking care of business, right?
Ross Barclay, man. Ross Barkley's the talk of the town. That kid's electric.
Looking like the future.
Right? He's killing it. He took a year off, I feel like, last year. Like, 2 years ago, we're all talking about him, loving him. There go the Popo shooting in the hood.
We're not in
this
the
is all
hood.
organic. No, we're not in the hood. We're in Quincy, a little suburb outside of Boston.
You want to give the address?
Yeah, we're at 74 Massachusetts Street, apartment 79.
Please don't go there because we are not there.
Guys,
please do not tell them we told you this.
Please don't Google, please.
I think Everton is. I think last year with Martinez, they had a little bit of a sophomore slump. And I think they're really turning around, and they're playing some attractive football. They really are. And Barkley, Lukaku, and De La Feno, these guys showing their level, their ability, their quickness.
Kone, Naismith.
Some guys like this to round it out, playing some good football, and they look the dominant team from start to finish in this game.
Dude, that front three, if you get them firing on all cylinders, Lukaku, De La Feu, Barkley, that front three is, you could argue, is as good as any other front three.
Careful.
In the league. No, as good, not better or anything. But like, you think of a United front three. We barely have a front three right now. Still trying to figure it out.
Depends on the week.
Exactly. You look at a Chelsea front three. They're not firing on all cylinders. You look at an Arsenal front three. They have good games, but they've been taking a nap lately. Liverpool front three. So this front three, if you get them firing on all cylinders, Martinez is a defensive coach. He's always disciplined in the back. Not a defensive coach. I mean, he's disciplined in the back. He respects keeping possession, playing cool soccer, controlling the game. This team is dangerous. I'm not saying top four or anything, so let's all calm down. What I'm saying is this team will be a problem. It'll cause a lot of hiccups for some of the top four challengers.
I don't necessarily agree when you say they're as good, but what I will say is they're as fast as any team in there. We didn't even mention Aaron Lennon and Kevin Mirallas. I understand your what you're saying with the
trio.
Potential with the trio. Just in terms of goals, I don't see it carrying over. But in terms of talent and the speed, man, they're dangerous. Everton's very dangerous. They should be happy that they were able to get a manager like Martinez after Moyes and the stability he was able to provide. But De La Feu could be special. They better hope to hold on to this kid.
Yeah, they better hope Barca doesn't exercise that option.
I think an unsung hero of that team is Gareth Barry. I think he's a guy, comes from Man City, comes from teams with lots of experience, and I think he brings a lot of stability to that midfield and gives freedom to players like Ross Barkley and De La Feno to really get forward and get at players and be dangerous.
He's a really good player. But to me, it's their defense that concerns me more than anything. I know what they can do going forward. But today, I mean, this performance, they were able to stay strong, get a clean sheet. Love Timmy Howard, by the way. I don't think he's sort of shown his age by any means. I think he's still a very, very talented goalkeeper.
He is, but at the same point, he really hasn't shown the same Tim Howard that we're used to at the beginning of this year. Like he was a little rusty coming in, but he's starting to shake it off and he's starting to really work his way in because he is really good. And I think that people will give him crap because he's an American, but he's good. He really is,
man.
And not only that, but people forget that he has Tourette's. We laugh about that, but that to control your brain and control your body movements while you're actually trying to stay focused in the game, that is commendable. That is really, really good. That's hard.
I wonder if he uses it as an excuse sometimes to go off on Jagielka. Just freak out on him.
I think Tim Howard's a very good goalie. I think people say his form has dipped a little bit, but he took a little break from the national team, and I don't think there's been much of a difference in his game. I think he's very consistent. He's solid. He always gives you the same performance. He makes some mistakes here and there, but for the most part, he's pretty solid.
For me, how you feel about the game?
I didn't catch this game, to be honest with you guys. I saw the highlights, read some of the stories, some of the stats, but from the highlights I saw, it looked like Everton was just firing on all cylinders, man. Like, they're looking dangerous. Again, that front three, I think, is slowly starting to come together, and I think the goal for Everton should be to hold on to these players because they could easily be swooped up by United, who's looking to sort of rebuild a dynasty type of team. Arsenal's always looking for some creativity and power up top, so the goal for Everton, I feel like, would be to hold on to these players, and if they can, then they can start talking, top four.
And honestly, when it comes down to Everton and Villa's bad. Everton's pretty good. Showed in the score. We can pretty much just wrap this up, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
All right, let's pick some MVP. You want to pick some MVPs here?
For me, Ross Barclay. I
easy.
mean, 2 goals, assists.
Likewise.
Are we all unanimous on that?
There.
Ross
Unanimous,
Barkley.
Barkley. Lastly, real quick. Well,
last game in the Prem.
Spurs, West Ham. Spurs, dude. Spurs starting to put it
Spurs
together, man.
Just
Pochettino.
had to look good this weekend, huh?
Unbelievable, man. Like I'm starting to get a little nervous. I don't know if they'll, put it together long enough for a top 4 or anything, but they're looking formidable.
Well, is that so much the Spurs, or is that just West Ham being West Ham and starting the decline? Because West Ham always starts the decline. They always start strong. They look healthy, and then after a while, they fade away to 8th, 9th, 10th place.
Here's the thing. We're talking about West Ham as giant killers earlier. They step up usually for big games. And when you say, was it a matter of Spurs or West Ham, then you have to give Spurs their credit. Because we take a look at last week when they were playing in the London derby against Arsenal. They went up 1-0. And they were playing the better football for a lot of the game until we managed to nick a goal in Arsenal. So I think coming into this game, they knew that. They were riding with the confidence. That spine of Spurs, of Hugo Lloris, whether it's Vertonghen or Toby Alderweireld, Eric Dier and Dembele in midfield, Eriksen at attacking midfield, and Harry Kane, that spine right there is very strong. And I think we're really starting to see a Spurs team that now has found their first squad. They're not really experimenting. And I think you have to give them credit for this.
I think there's a couple factors going on in this game. I think that, we have talked about West Ham being a giant killer.
Yeah.
And they have. I mean, they beat City, they beat Chelsea, they beat, they beat all these top level teams. When teams like that go to play other teams that are at their level or below, or just even maybe slightly above them, they tend to not have the same form.
Yeah.
Maybe it's they don't get up as much for the game, whatever. It just seems to happen, I think. But on the other side, Spurs are... Pochettino's a good coach.
Yeah,
I mean, you see what he did with Southampton. Brought a lot of youth talent through, and
now he's got Ali coming through.
Very successful. Now he's already got an England international, a young one.
Yeah.
And I think people give Harry Kane a hard time. He's still young. He didn't start the season on fire, but I think he's getting into his form.
Yeah, he is.
And he's been netting goals all the time. And one of their unsung players, I think, would have to be Dembele, a guy that's had a lot of quality, hasn't really done much the last couple of years or so, but through Pochettino here seems to be reemerging as a very dominant midfielder.
Dude, he has the potential to be a special player, man.
He always has. At Fulham, he was very talented.
Him
and you
and
could
Dempsey
see it
together at Fulham.
Yeah, you could see it. You could see him coming through when he was there. And I think that Pochettino's kind of getting through to him, getting the best out of him, and him playing underneath that Kane position has been giving him a little more freedom there.
Yeah.
When it comes down to the game, I really think it could have just been West Ham rather than more Tottenham. Tottenham was looking better, I will give you that. They were looking more of a unit, but West Ham did not look like a unit today. The first goal with Kane, Jenkinson, he just got turned. I mean, what did he shoot it, like 10 yards? I don't even know, I forget where Kane shot it, but the fact of the matter is he was turned. He got turned.
That's why Arsenal loaned him out for like 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. We'll loan you out for the rest of your life.
Liability.
In return, nothing. We don't want anything. No, just we'll pay you. No, it's one of those things where West Ham just kept on giving up like stupid plays. Another thing was, what was it? Tottenham hit 2 posts. West Ham hit another post.
With a bike kick from Koyate?
Yeah, so realistically, this could be anything. This could be a 6-0 game. Or, sorry, 6-1 game. This could be a 6-2 game. This could be a 4-2 game. We don't know because, the post, inch here, inch there, could have went in. But when it comes down to it, I mean, Walker at the end. Walker.
Nice finish.
No, well, it was a nice finish, but horrible defense.
You're right.
I mean, and anyways, when it comes down to it, I mean, the way he lined up, you're thinking outside the foot right away.
No, dude, outside of the foot to me is probably the most deceptive shot in the game.
I honestly thought he was going outside the foot, left side, the entire way. When I saw him, the way his body was, and no one picked him up at all. I mean, it's a good shot, though. It was a good shot.
No, you're right about the defense, but by then, it's 3-0. So they'd given up mentally by then. So that's what tends to happen with these relegated potential sides is you see this mental kind of shift that occurs once they go down. And, maybe if it's 1-0, then they show some fight. 2-0, all right, still the most dangerous score in the game. But 3-0, now we kind of don't have chance. We rein it in, and you don't really, you kind of give up. So I'm with you on that point, but I think West Ham has certain players. Like you said, there were many opportunities in this game. I just think it didn't go their way. Tottenham stepped up. I give Spurs more credit than I'd say West Ham. I think West Ham just gave up, and that's a very large thing to bring up about a team. But once you go 3 goals down, that usually is what happens.
I think Walker fuels the flames of can he really defend, because he gives away that ball for West Ham's goal. Simple. He could have just dropped it back to his goalie Lloris, and he slices it somehow, mishits it, and that's just that little concentration, where he fuels those flames of yes, this guy's class, he's pretty good, but can he be trusted for the Euros?
He's good for a mistake or two.
Exactly.
Every other game. I think.
Exactly. So
I think he's
good game from him overall. Good game, but that mistake, man, it's a glaring mistake because he gave away a goal. It's not like.
I think Spurs are. I mean, somebody said about what's going on at Spurs. They're on a little bit. They're on a rise right now. They're unbeaten in 12 straight games, and they thumped West Ham. That was 4-1 is that's a big win.
Played them off the park.
Yeah, and like I said before, this West Ham team has done really well this year. They've overexceeded what they're supposed to be doing. They've been taking down big teams. And for a team like Tottenham, it's considered a top team, but not kind of middle of the road, come in and thump them, kind of speaks volumes of how good this Tottenham team actually could be.
Yeah, definitely.
One thing about West Ham that I really want to say, Lanzini, at the end, we were talking about how you go down 3-0 or something, or 4-0, and you actually lose that passion to run. I mean, he saw our time. He got the ball. He made a great move. Top left corner shot. I mean, that shows heart. Even though you're down that many goals and he actually comes back and actually shoots and really pushes hard for that, that shows, we're talking about volume, that shows volumes of that player.
Those are the plays you want to keep.
Exactly. And I
last
also...
week, too. He scored Lanzini last week.
Exactly. It's one of those young talents that you need on your team. And I also didn't know that Son was going to come on at the 80th minute. I thought he was going to come on much earlier than that.
All right. Top players?
Top players, Harry Kane. Got his...
Easy.
Yeah.
Has to be.
2 goals, right?
Unanimous?
Yeah, 2 goals. What's that called again?
Brace.
Got his brace. There we go.
You got a brace. All right. So then the other 2 games in the EPL this weekend, Swansea tied 2-2 with Bournemouth.
I actually watched this game. This is a good game. Bournemouth went up 2-0 early, and it looked like they were going to have the run of it. And, newcomers to the league, they got shown a lesson. Swansea came back and punched 2 in. Ayew, this guy, he's dynamic, man.
I
saw
love
the highlight,
He
dude.
causes so many
Andre
problems.
Ayew.
Every time I see him, free transfer goes
The
in my
heel
head.
flag.
Free
I
transfer.
want him at Arsenal so bad.
He causes a lot of problems. The pace about him is ridiculous. Swansea just fought back into the game. I think that team plays for their manager and Gary Monk, being a former player and all.
Yeah.
They really play for him, and
But
they showed good character to get back in the game.
But Swansea's struggling this
They
year,
are struggling.
man.
They are struggling.
And you know what? I think not their chemistry, but their makeup is more will play to your level. Like
Gotcha.
every time they play against Arsenal, for some reason, they turn into
And Man
Barcelona
United.
and they just possess, and all of a sudden they're clinical. But you play a Bournemouth side and you kind of play to their level a little bit. You play a Norwich side, you kind of don't play up to your potential. So that's all I have to say about Swansea.
Yeah. The other game was Southampton Stoke.
Yeah. Stoke's a tough team, man. Stoke's a tough team to play against. It's
Yeah.
you never want to play them. They're just tough, hard nosed, really difficult team to play against, and it's always going to be a battle.
But this is an interesting Stoke team because now they have like technical players. They
class.
have a Bojan Krkic who managed to squeak himself a goal.
That's classy.
I'll never forget that moment when Bojan was at Barcelona and he rainbowed the goalkeeper and Ronaldinho was on the bench and he was standing up applauding, and to me it's
That's
a
unbelievable.
little bittersweet because it's like you think of his potential as a 16-year-old, he was doing that. But now it's good to see him be on Stoke and finally starting to score goals in the
He's got
EPL.
Arnautovic. He's surrounded by talent, so it won't necessarily be that Barca level, but at least he's not on the old Stoke, the Tony Pulis Stoke, which was a great Stoke either way, but that was a
Tony
different-
Pulis won this weekend. Just saying.
He took care of business. Love Tony Pulis.
Why you gotta bring old shit up though?
All right, so that's the EPL. Let's get into El Clasico before we run out of time. Fortunately, we can't cover the Juve Milan and the Munich Schalke, but we'll get to that at some point. The Clasico, dude. Barcelona showing up to Madrid 4-0. Holy shit.
Disrespected
At Madrid,
them.
at the Bernabeu, man.
Holy shit.
Disrespected them.
I'm surprised the city's still out. I figured Madrid would be just on fire.
I feel
4-0. Not even a peep for Madrid. Not even a little one goal, little hope.
without
nothing.
Messi, without 100% Messi in the starting lineup.
Unbelievable.
That just goes to show you the depth of Barcelona. They keep bringing on 23, 24-year-old kids. People we never heard of. People we never heard of. Okay, you're going to play left wing today. You're going to be next to Neymar, and Suarez is going to be up high ahead of you.
Because their system is
La
better
Masa.
than Madrid. Barcelona breeds this because of how they play. This is inbred in these players from the age of 7 years old. They play
La
the
Masa,
same
yep.
style. It does not change. It's all one thing. It's a culture. How you dress on the field. You look at them. Typically, there's not a player who has a shirt untucked on Barcelona. The socks are pulled all the way up. These are little things that they inbreed in their players, which help them develop this culture. And it's honestly the most beautiful thing to watch.
It's like a little cult, man.
And that's what
It is Catalan.
It's
It's its own country within Spain.
That's beautiful that you brought that up because that's what Ibrahimovic said he hated about being at Barcelona.
I
is
just read that
everyone,
book.
Everyone's a robot. Everyone just is like a drone. They all drive the same cars. They wear the same clothes. Like they all say the same thing. They never argue with Pep at the time. Then the manager, the manager's always right. So obviously a head case like Ibrahimovic, as much as I love him, but he is a head case.
He's
he
an
doesn't belong in
individual.
there. Yeah.
He's an extrovert.
bigger than
he
the
needs
system.
to stick out.
Yeah.
Well, he has
And
a
it-
personality, and I feel like it's almost like
Yeah.
walking into the Stepford's Wives.
Yeah.
You know,
Stepford Wives.
Stepford's Wives.
Yep.
It's just like everyone's like a clone, and for that, I could see him walking like, what's up, guys?
Yeah, trying to talk to people, and Messi's just robotic. Just scored 6 goals, and he doesn't want to go out and party.
I love Barcelona.
Type of thing.
And maybe you know
me
what?
too.
The fact that we raised that, maybe that's why we tend to see a lot of Brazilians and Barcelona's had many great Brazilians
Yeah.
feature on their first team, but they typically don't tend to retire there. Maybe it's
No one
due
does.
to the individual flair, that little bit of individuality they have versus the Spanish players, or do you think there's a bias of retiring Spanish players because it's within the nation?
I think I think what shows you there's no bias, it's a club system thing, is what Madrid did to Casillas. We talked about it in the last podcast.
No, but this is speaking strictly to Barcelona now.
Oh, you're saying just strictly Barcelona?
Strictly to Barcelona and, like, the Brazilians they have. And I tend to see more, like, Barcelona kind of, the tenure for Spanish players tends to be longer than those of Brazilian players.
I think it's that the Spanish players are, like, born and raised like in Spain, so they don't have this
nationality.
They don't have this urge to play in Italy or an urge to play in England. Like, yeah, some of them do, but for the most part, I think, where's Xavi gonna go? You know, and why would he leave? Like, it's like Gerrard leaving Liverpool or Rooney leaving United. Like, most top players in each country don't necessarily leave, except like Italians, where their league fluctuates up and down. You know, the level of the league fluctuates. So, but English players, the best, don't really leave ever. Spanish players, the best, don't really leave ever, for the most part. There's exceptions to that rule, but
I mean, let's get back to the game, man. I mean, Real Madrid didn't even look like they had a plan or a system or anything intact. It was like, all right, we're gonna play Barcelona. Let's go.
You know who?
And it looks like they just put 11 guys in the field.
Not to cut you off, but you know who they look like? They look like a Benitez Liverpool. Benitez.
They look sad. Exactly. They look sad.
Was that due to the fact that they kind of changed tactics before? Because weren't they kind of playing with Ronaldo as a center forward?
Yeah,
I think that's where he belongs. I think that's where he belongs.
I don't know.
But the thing, I mean, I don't know. It had been reported that he wanted to play at a wider role, and you know, all of these things coming into the game. Do you think Rafa kind of folded under that pressure to change tactics?
Obviously, he's a weak man.
I think you also blame the players though. I think because of having Rafa and because of him trying to switch the tactics, they haven't quite bought into him. It's almost like a Man United's David Moyes. You know, like
we're almost at January here.
I know. And when did Moyes get fired? You know what I mean? But the thing is that Madrid's doing well in the league, so it's not 911 bells, but they're not playing like Madrid. That's the problem.
Let's talk about Suarez and Neymar. I mean, these guys have been out.
What a relationship!
They've been without Messi, arguably the best player in the world, and flourishing. It's something like 19 of the last Barcelona goals have all been scored by either Neymar or Suarez, and the team doesn't care. They're happy to be winning games. That's kind of, again, goes back to like their philosophy from when they're young. Mm-hmm. But these two guys have just been playing phenomenal football. Phenomenal. And just an understanding of where each other's going to be before the ball is even played. It's like they've been playing together since they were little kids.
Premier talent. You can talk about Neymar and Suarez all you want. I'm going to talk about Sergio Roberto. That's who I'm going to talk about, because this dude, I mean, right back, middle of midfield, right wing. Just put me in, coach. Just put me in.
Anything I see Barca always has Sergio Roberto over him, and I haven't watched him closely. Going forward, I'm watching this kid because people just keep talking about him, and it's time to give this guy some time.
He's just a footballer. I need you to play this position. Okay, no problem. Hey, did you play here? Okay, no problem.
It's a beautiful thing when you see a player like that.
But that's part of it. Goes back to their philosophy, their system. Everybody in the you look at even even PK.
Yeah,
a guy like PK, maybe his defensive ability is not at that high level, but his technical ability, his ability to pass,
he could play the
forward,
6th position. He could play number 6, a defensive mid, or even like a center mid. Like,
but they just have better players. So
exactly.
You just play center back instead.
But you teach him how he knows how center mid works, so he knows how they want the ball. He knows when they want the ball. He knows the tempo. You're right, man. Building from the ground up like that.
Teaching the entire game.
Amazing.
You know, you have people say, "Oh, you know, I don't want my little kid to play goalie." Well, you know what? When you play goalie when you're little, and you learn like, "Oh, wow, this position kind of sucks," but you got to do this and this and this, and you learn, "Wow, look at that ball! I can intercept that." And you learn how to read the game, and you're able to become a better defender overall just by playing different positions.
That's a great point, and I just think that the system of Barcelona showed, because if you're able to beat your rival 4-0 without the best player in the world, while the other best player in the world is on the pitch, I think we have to start considering a Barcelona-Bayern Munich final in the Champions League.
I think I said it a few podcasts ago, and you guys criticized me for picking the favorites, but these teams, man, and they're dominant, dude. Like, I don't see how they can be beat.
Well, listen. At the end of the day, it's soccer. and every day is a coin flip. You could go out, you could have a bad game, you could lose.
Yeah.
And that's how they could lose the Champions League. Like, it could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. What I'm saying is, barring something like extraordinary happening, I'm saying these two teams are the odds-on favorite for the Champions League. I don't see anyone stopping them. Obviously, Ibrahimovic could have a hell of a game, score a hat trick, beat Barcelona. Yes, but if I had money to bet today, I would bet those two in the final.
I'll give you $5.
It just seems to be on paper, and judging from last year, Juventus was kind of that Cinderella team. I think we're gonna have something similar this year again. Where, to me, look,
who do you think is the Cinderella? Just real quick, I know this is a complete.
I said it earlier, Chelsea. I said it earlier, Chelsea.
Next
and look,
topic.
I may be way off with that, but what I'm thinking is they're gonna I think they're gonna obviously try to improve their position within the domestic league, but I think they've kind of given up on that, and they're so focused. Their only glimmer of light is Champions League.
That's an interesting angle. I just don't think, even if they focused on it, they could beat a Juventus or a
Listen,
Bayern.
I think Juventus is a different team now.
As a Cinderella, it's a good Cinderella because they're not doing well. Mm-hmm. And they still have it's the same team, same quality. But you look at Juventus, no Vidal, no Tevez, no Pirlo.
Quality.
They lost 3 starting players out of 11. They're not. Look at them in the Serie A. They're in 6th place.
My Cinderella would be Madrid, Atletico.
Oh, okay.
That's a proper.
I like that.
That's a Cinderella.
I like that.
Yeah, I could see them. I don't see Chelsea getting past like an Atletico. That's why I have a hard time saying
it would
possible.
be tough.
It's the old Atletico team.
It would be tough. Trust me.
I don't. That's why I don't see.
That's a buzzsaw.
It's a good shot, man. It's a brave shot.
Chelsea's not going anywhere. The fact of the matter is, if they're beating Norwich 1-0, and I know you're saying, they're putting all their focus towards the Champions League, 1-0 against Norwich.
Look, the second half of the campaign starts after January. So what's happening right now? It's beautiful. It's nice to talk about.
Who are they going to bring in January that is really going to change this?
I'll comment on January on February 1st. I'll be able to comment. But until then, Mourinho's throwing smoke screens to the media. Oh, we're not going to sign anyone. Oh, there's no need to. And he may be right. The quality is there, but there's a lot of time between now and then.
I don't see them going past the quarters, if anything. Like even
what?
Quadas.
I should have just said semis on principle because I can say it. No. Well, what I mean is that they're not even gonna get there. They're not.
Yeah.
I really don't see it. Unless if they have some big pep talk, they have to become a team again. And
there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
All right, back to El Clasico, dude. So you think it's alarm bells at Madrid? How do you think Benitez's job is? Do you think he makes it?
Bells
to
fell off.
New Year's.
Are you serious?
You think it's a siren at this point? Like,
yeah,
but fireable. I know it's a bad result, but do you think now his job is in threat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Very
it's in
much
threat.
so.
But if they're gonna get rid of Cristiano, who are they gonna get instead?
Hazard. They've already talked about it.
So you're gonna bring in?
No, you have to replace him with 3 players.
I don't see why they would even want to sell Cristiano. Just bring in a new coach, someone that can actually handle him.
He wants to leave.
I think it's checked
He wants
out.
to leave.
Yeah,
You think?
he's done.
But if they start winning, he doesn't want to leave.
That's not entirely true.
Nah, it's the pressure.
I'm not
dude.
sure.
Watch that documentary, man.
He wants to go back to United. Everybody knows it.
I don't know, dude. I could see him going to PSG. Paris, finishing up
my
in
God.
Paris. Especially if Mourinho goes to...
If Ibra leaves, which it sounds like he's going to go MLS, maybe something this year, that opens the door for Cristiano.
I just read something that Ibra is linked with Arsenal. So
was Messi.
But what I'm saying is, Ibra just came out saying that he was too late for English, but then he just came out with a quote saying that he really wants to work with Wagner.
I
just throwing out there.
I hope that's not bro science, because I'd very much love that to happen, but I think it's not.
It's too late.
Listen, Ibra was there when he was 17. Ibra was there when he was 17, and Wagner told me he had to try out, and he said, "I don't try out.
Zlatan doesn't try out.
Yeah, I'm Zlatan. I don't try out. I'm on the team. Or I'm not." So he went to Ajax.
Yeah. And he scored one of the best goals ever that we've seen at Ajax.
So what do we got, Teeks?
I think
man of the match for
some other stuff lined up, but
man of the match.
Man of the match, real quick. Let's wrap it up.
I mean, that boy Luis. I called him out before the game. Luis Suarez. I said he wasn't gonna score a goal. I don't know what I was thinking. This man's probably the best center forward in the world, with the likes of Lewandowski and Kun Aguero. Luis Suarez, man. Luis Suarez was ridiculous. That outside of the right foot finish first time. What other forward does that?
Clasico, dude. It's not like, this is a league game. El Clasico away at Madrid. It's just like, I trust my technique.
And he has other intangibles, though, like his work rate,
His movement,
like the
dude.
feistiness. Yeah, people don't like sometimes the things he does on the field, but those things really annoy defenders.
Like bite people?
Yeah, like biting
It is
people.
annoying. It's annoying.
Hey,
It's more than annoying.
you know what happened? Cavani got a thumb stuck up his ass. He ended up getting a red card.
Maybe he likes
because
it.
of how he reacted. So look, we talk about these things, but they're
likes
realities.
Maybe he does. You don't know.
Took a while to process. Sorry,
Yeah,
Tom.
Suarez for sure.
Yeah, me too. Suarez, simple. 2
Suarez
goals.
for me
Killed
too.
it.
I got one.
Here we go.
Kind of this is an unsung hero, man. Like I feel like this guy continues to be Barcelona's rock, and he gets overshadowed because he's not always the guy on the score sheet, and he's not always the guy doing this and that. But he does the simple things.
We slept on this guy.
So,
I know where you're
so
going. I'm
well.
so mad at myself.
Iniesta,
You're right.
man.
There he is.
Iniesta. I mean,
Yeah,
first of all, the layoff from Neymar, the ball Neymar plays is beautiful,
Ugh.
and Iniesta just pounds it home.
Yeah.
Pounds. He tried to put it through the goal, but his overall play in the game,
Yeah.
his connecting passes, his movement off the ball,
He's-
his 1-2 touchability is there's no other player like in the world like him right now. I don't think.
It's
No.
sad because he grew up in a time where like there was just too many like world class midfielders, the Pirlos, the Xavi who played next to him, like Zidane was around his time. So it's like he's just an unsung hero, like you said. Like he's not taking a lot of people on doing step overs, but like his movement and his decision making and his pass accuracy, like
Dribbling.
he's.
God, man.
If you want to see how the center mid position should be played, you look at the Xavis or the Iniestas, like the Scholes of the world. Like there's just that class of people, the class of players who are just quietly good.
And his finish this weekend was a little reminiscent of when he scored on Chelsea
there
in
you
the
go.
Champions
Welcome
League.
back. I have forgotten about that
Except
one.
this time was with his right foot instead of his left foot.
Left foot, right foot.
I mean, he does do that. You know, he shows up in big games, shows up when you need him, but he just, I mean, the guy's been starting for Barcelona for how many years? Like, you know, it just goes to show you of his level and his quality. It's he's exceptional.
I'm gonna
to watch.
miss watching him. He's
Yeah.
one of those players.
I think
Definitely.
I think we're gonna see him for a couple more years. I mean, I know he's like
I hope
33
so.
now, but I mean, for me, he was one of the best players on the pitch this weekend, and
if not the best.
And I mean, he's on the field with guys like Ronaldo, Benzema, Gareth Bale, Neymar, Suarez, and he's
He's still shining.
he's still shining. Yeah, and he still shows that even in his later career, he still has the ability to play at this level and be a standout player.
Class never
Absolutely.
dies.
All right, guys. So we'll close it out with that. We had plans to do a top 4 last 3, but in efforts to keep this at a reasonable amount of time, we can say that you guys can look forward to our top 4 last 3 next week. We're gonna spend the week doing research. Some of the results next week might, reshape our top 4 last 3, but next week, guys, be ready to debate the shit out of your top 4 because I think I have a ridiculous one. I think I have a ridiculous top 4.
Gonna
Do we
have to
have
save
a little hint, a little teaser?
Let's see. No, I'm bad at hints. No hints. All right, guys. So signing off. It's Podcast FC. Guys, check us out on Twitter at Podcast FC Show, Facebook.com/Podcast FC Show. Email podcastfcshow@gmail.com. Hit us up. Thoughts and questions. Love you, boys. Again, this is Tiki signing off.
This is Tum.
This is Farid.
And this is Hase.
Glory, glory.
Goons.